Hello and welcome to Falcon Flashback as we take you back in time, all in preparation for what we hope will be a return of live Falcon athletics. But first, we go in our time machine and go back to November 10th of 2018. Thomas City Stadium, the site, a game time temperature of 25 degrees. That doesn't even factor the wind chill. Wisconsin Lutheran, the opponent, Lutheran Bowl, Luther Cup, all on the line. And to help us relive that memory, being joined by the head coach of the Falcon football team, Greg Eder. I'm Matt Menzel. And Coach, you look at that 2018 team. That was a fun season because at least going in, the Falcons, and put stock into the poll as you will, but predicted it for the sixth in the NAC, and yet you go back a couple of weeks before that against Eureka, playing for first place. Even going into this game with some other things happening, you had a chance to finish in a multi-team tie for first. In your opinion, what made that 2018 team so successful? Because, again, if you go by the polls, not a whole heck of a lot was expected.
Well, first of all, Matt, when you bring up 25 degrees and doesn't include wind chill, as we sit out here and it's close to 80, I really don't want to go back to those temperatures. But, no, going into that season, we had a lot of question marks as a football team. We had some really good seniors, and then we had a bunch of new freshmen coming in that we didn't know. We thought they were going to be good. We didn't know how fast they were going to be good. And to credit that football team, the whole football team, they gelled, they came together, they believed, they had a great attitude on and off the field, and they found ways to win games. And I think that as the season went on, they gained more and more confidence. And obviously we played a very young offense and defensive line, which is almost unheard of, where you can have success in the trenches with young guys. And the more their confidence grew, the better we kept playing. And so that was a fun year. That was a very, very fun year. And, it brings back a lot of good memories.
I know from a broadcast standpoint it was fun, but how from a coaching standpoint, how much fun was it to watch that combination? Quarterback Aaron Nixon, the wide receiver James Sanders. It seemed like that was a regular 1-2 combo week in, week out.
Well, Aaron Nixon, in the game of football, as it's evolved, basically from the NFL on down to, I would, say even high schools, but especially at our level, the quarterback position is so key with the type of offenses that everybody's running. And Aaron Nixon had been hurt the year before, and he came back for his extra year. And just having his presence, his maturity, his toughness, he was a quiet leader, did it more on the field. Having him to build around was a big reason for the success of that team.
How big of a luxury was it to have a guy like Jacob Mason? He's a kicker, he's a punter, but also defensively. And defense was big in this game because Wisconsin loses up at halftime, and the defense able to rise to the challenge in the second half and completely shut the Warriors out.
If I remember correctly, I believe that we were down by a touchdown at halftime, and then we shut them out the second half. And so, absolutely, to have upperclassmen in key positions, that was, just critical to our success. And the way that we finished that game, the way we finished that second half as a football team, really set the course for the future, but ended and capped off a very exciting 2018 campaign.
I was going to ask you, though, about, you mentioned earlier, too, the freshmen and not knowing what to expect. What's going through your mind? Okay, it's late in this game. Nixon can't finish the contest. In comes James Lynn, a freshman at quarterback, and he ends up leading the Falcons to the game-winning score.
Well, I can remember that drive distinctly because it was not just James that came in. Obviously, our young guys that had been playing all year in critical spots, everybody executed with the game on the line. And when we crossed the goal line to take the lead, I thought to myself, this is awesome. The table is set for the future, and it was just a rewarding moment. Number one, put us up late in the game, and number two, being the last game of the season, it just set the table for, what was to come in the future.
Wrap it up by asking you about some of the rivalry games, because it's always exciting when you have a traveling trophy on the line. And what a great year 2018 was, in the sense that you shut out Lakeland, which had not been done in a long time, knocked off the Muskies 17-0 to lay claim to the Cheese Bowl. Even the Wisconsin-Lutheran matchup, I mean, you talk about a rivalry that's really become competitive as of late, with 5 of the last 6 decided by 7 points or less. I mean, I got to believe it's pretty easy to get guys up for games like that.
It really is. Early in my in my career as a head coach, I tried to take the approach that next play, next day, next practice, next game, and tried not to get the guys too hyped, or so you didn't want to go through a season with peaks and valleys emotionally. But as I've been here longer, and as the rivalries intensify, or you realize the rivalry that's been there with Lakeland, and you realize, like you said, how intense it's getting with Wisconsin Lutheran, it naturally takes care of itself. The players get up for those, and how can you not enjoy preparing for those games, So, yeah, we're going to highlight them more than we do the other games, but we also try to make sure that we don't get them too high,
sure,
because we got to come back and usually play the next game. But the rivalries, the natural built-in rivalries, that's what makes our football season so much fun.
Well, it's time to grab those winter jackets, those knit caps, scarves, gloves. We're going back to November 10th of 2018, Thomasini Stadium, Luther Cup, Luther Bowl. It's the Falcons and Wisconsin Lutheran. Logan Jones and myself on the call. The Wisconsin Lutheran College Warriors and the Concordia University of Wisconsin Falcons, the colors making their way off the field as the regular season wraps up on this Saturday afternoon. And got to give a shout-out to Wayne out of the maintenance staff here at Concordia. He was in the plow beforehand, got this field in pretty good shape. Upon arriving here on scene at about 10 o'clock this morning, this field completely covered in snow with the exception of every 10 yards marked off. Well, now you can't even tell that it snowed except around the football field. It is cold. A game-time temperature at 28 degrees. It feels like 19 with the wind out of the west at about 11 miles per hour. One of the colder games you will have here at Thomasini Stadium during the course of the regular season. And I'm guessing the turf frozen. And so when you get hit, it may feel a little bit rough on that body in comparison to, say, a couple of weeks ago in that Eureka battle.
Yeah, it's interesting. We were talking about it before the game, too, the way that the weather has changed so quickly this year. Definitely doesn't feel like November 10th on this day, but it'll be interesting to see kind of how this weather and the cold affects the game and the strategies that both teams have going forward.
Camps is about to meet at midfield. For the Falcons, that includes quarterback Aaron Nixon sporting jersey 11. And you see quarterback for the Warriors, Patrick Matheson, the senior from Florida. He's among the 4 Warrior captains as these two teams meet for the 18th time all-time. And the Falcons lead with 11 victories to 6 defeats. Yet the Warriors have won the last 4 consecutive, including last year. Squeaked out a 22-19 victory. That was last October the 14th. That game was delayed by weather, but not snow. Thunderstorms eventually got kicked off with the Falcons jumping in front 6-0, but then fell behind. And eventually fell behind 22-12. Got close, but no closer than that 22-19 score would indicate. If you go back over the last 4 victories, all 4 decided by 12 points or less. Last time the Falcons knocked off Wisconsin Lutheran, the conference championship year of 2013, a 58-31 score. Falcons are 5-3 at home all-time against the Warriors, and this will be the 11th time they meet as conference foes, the 11th time for the Luther Cup, the traveling trophy that currently is in the possession of Wisconsin Lutheran. A lot of low-scoring affairs between these two, and would expect much the same here this afternoon, despite the Falcons' ability to put points on the board. They're averaging about 29 a game. The Warriors at about 22. They give up about 38. The Falcons allow about 23, 24 points per contest. So the Falcons play the way they want to play. They want to maybe a little higher scoring of an affair. The Warriors prefer to keep this one low. The Warriors will be kicking it away as the Falcons getting ready to break onto the field with Isaiah Tennett. He will be the deep back for the Falcons. Look at Greg Etter. He is back now for his 11th season at the Falcons helm. He is the 4th head coach in the program's history, and again, he's got to be pleased with the progress his team has made because I think they've overachieved. This was a team expected to finish near the bottom of the conference. As of a couple of weeks ago, they were in an all-out first-place battle, still with an opportunity to qualify for the NCAA playoffs as a very young team. Sasha Bornschlegel will get this first quarter underway. Glad to have you along here on the Falcon Athletic Network one more time here in the regular season for Falcon football. Ball's going to be picked up at the 22. And for the Falcons, a return for Devin Shabilski. Offense out of the field led by Aaron Nixon, the 6'1", 205-pound quarterback out of North Prairie, Wisconsin. Again, an offense that right now is averaging over 417 yards a game, 3rd best in the conference, 6th in rushing, but they're tops in the league when it comes to passing yards per game. They've thrown 23 passing touchdowns to 11 on the ground. Falcons come out. Matt Montgomery in the backfield. And on the Falcon run to the 36. The Falcon run for Jake Rippertella. And the Falcons able to pick up a couple, bringing up a 2nd down and 8.
Talking about that passing game, we talked about earlier, obviously Josh Sanders' #1 target, but it's interesting to look at the combination of Aaron Nixon to Josh Sanders, and then on the other side for the Warriors, the combination of Patrick Matheson over to their best receiver, Christian Wojak, that you talked about. Kind of just their version of the Nixon-Sanders connection. Both seniors, both quarterbacks leading their team in rushing, receivers leading their team in receiving yards.
Well, you see that run by Montgomery, who was tackled by Matt Goodell. But now the Falcons facing 3rd down. They struggled in this area last week. 0 for 9 on 3rd down conversion. Didn't get 5 to keep this drive alive. And on the run by Montgomery, he's going to be close to that 1st down marker. He was spun toward the marker and wrapped up and stopped. Cameron Wolf, the junior defensive lineman from Oconomowoc, on the tackle. Is going to be 4th down and an inch. Or did they give him the 1st down? They do, in fact, give him the 1st down. So at first they looked like it was going to be 4th down and inches, but the chain gang late and moving downfield. They're frozen, 2 on this Saturday afternoon. It's going to be a fresh set of downs here for the Falcons. Their first 3rd down conversion in a couple of weeks.
Interesting to see them decide to run there on 3rd and medium, maybe trying to establish the run game in the cold here early.
That's all it's been. Run, run, run. 4 times they snapped the football and run the football with Montgomery. Get another handoff, and again he was stopped on the play. And for Wisconsin Lutheran, some good size there by Ronnie Schneider. He is 6'4", 205 pounds, the freshman from Hayward, Wisconsin. So 4 snaps, 4 rushes. And the Falcons will come back out with Montgomery slot right. As the ball is snapped, Nixon looks to his left. He'll throw for the first time. It's going to be complete. Ball hauled in by Jake Busher. And Busher to the Warriors, 46. That's going to be a gain. A gain of 11 on the 1st down here for Concordia.
Interesting to see Matt Montgomery getting all of the handoffs so far. Ben in there came into this game with 13 rushing yards on the season. Was not listed on the 2 deep. Falcons going with him early.
Josh Turner and Blake Wilson, the 2 rushers last week against Rockford. Nixon gets rusty. Underthrows Devin Coy. So an incompletion there for Nixon, now 1 for 2. Pascal would check out the Concordia starting offense. For the Falcons, they will go on that offensive line with James Mitchell, Jerry Carey III, Rashid Simon is the starting center with Tyler Ryan and Riley Mendiaz on the right side of the offensive line. You have Josh Turner expected to be the starter, but we've seen Montgomery in that backfield with Jake Rippertella, Josh Sanders, Jake Busher, and Devin Coy, the receiving core. Nixon to the option to Montgomery, and he finds a hole, gets across the 40. He's up to the Warrior 35 for a gain of 11. Another 1st down. Stop made by Trevor Seawald, the starting defensive back from Coleman, Wisconsin. And for the Warriors defensively, they will start Ronnie Schneider. You have Derek Brungraber, Cameron Wolf, and Brandon Morrissey on the defensive line. Matt Goodell, Michael Ignacek, along with Joe Stachinski, the linebacking core. The Falcons throw high off the hands of Rippertella, incomplete. You have Devontae Jones, Jody Stachinski, Trevor Seawalt, and Tony Orlando, the cornerbacks and safeties. So a start here for Michael Ignacek, the sophomore defensive back from Cudahy. Following the incompletion is going to be 2nd down and 10 for the Falcons. That from the Warriors 35.
And a catchable pass there, but Rippertella in a lot of space. You'd like to see Nixon hit him more in the numbers.
As Nixon spins, throws. That's complete to Coy at the first down marker. He's at the 25 before being forced to the sideline. You had the combination of Devontae Jones. You had Ignacek on that far side for the Warriors, but right at that 25, first down, Concordia. So a productive opening drive so far for the Falcons. And following that completion to Coy, so far 9 plays, 41 yards gained. As the ball snapped here by Nixon. Faked to Montgomery, now throws. It's low, it's going to be incomplete. So he faked to Montgomery, then threw it low for Rippertella, who was tackled quickly by Trevor Seawald as that ball zipped by. Brings up second down.
Like a potential miscommunication there by Rippertella and Nixon. Rippertella moving more towards the center of the field. Looked like Nixon was trying to throw it back shoulder with a defender over on that side.
Nixon started the game now 2 for 5 passing. He was 14 for 23 last week. No touchdowns. He threw 3 interceptions against the Regents. Nixon going long. It's going to be over Coy's head. No chance to catch that one. He was being covered by Devontae Jones. Some loose coverage as well being provided by Ignacek. It's going to bring up third down and 10. The Falcons already 1 for 1 on third down conversions. They came into this game third in the conference at 41% on third down efficiency.
Falcons had some success there running the ball so far this drive. Go away for it on 2 straight downs on first and second, and now look at a long 3rd and 10 here coming up.
Trips to the right, high snap, Nixon brings it down, flips it, and again overthrows Montgomery, trying to haul in a little swing pass beyond his reach. It brings up 4th down. Note that Josh Sanders, as mentioned, is playing in this game after missing last week. He was lined up to the wideout on that left side. Falcons now facing 4th down. And we'll bring out one of these seniors, Jacob Mason. He'll attempt a field goal this from a good 42 yards. It would match his career high. He will knock in a 42-yarder. That coming against Concordia, Chicago. And for Mason, this is going to be short and wide and a turnover on downs. So last time he was able to knock in that 42-yarder against Concordia, Chicago was back on the 20th of October. Had the 8 of the wind. The wind was blowing beyond 30 miles per hour. In this case, wind's blowing, but not as significantly, and then not in his favor. Left it short and a little bit off to the left. He'll now stay out there and play defense. You see he's part of the secondary for the Falcons. The Warriors bring out Patrick Matheson, their starting quarterback. He has been now a 3-year starter after not playing a single game back in 2015. And the Warriors also come out with Joshua Kaysen in that backfield, but a throw here on first down complete. And Tyree Gamble, a junior from Huntsville, Texas, on the reception of the 25. No gain.
Looked like he might have been running on ice out there on that one. You talked about it. Field is cold on that turf. Easy to lose your footing.
Well, the Falcons have the advantage of having practiced on this field that was not plowed as of yesterday. In their walkthrough, as it's now 2nd down and 10 from the Warriors 25. Matheson looks right. Quick throw over the middle. That's going to be complete. The catch hauled in by Nick Charles Crowell, the sophomore wide receiver from Florida. Ball's at the 34. 9-yard gain, 3rd down, and a yard to go. Warriors, 37% on 3rd down conversions, good for 5th out of 8 teams in the conference. See if they utilize Case in that backfield, though again, Matheson with the ability to run the football as well. He'll throw instead, that's going to be complete over the middle, across midfield. Quick strike and haul as Cody Thompson.
As advertised, 3 plays, 3 passes, working right up the middle.
Now it's possible there's also Dan DeYoung. Both are listed as number 80. Both can catch the football. Dan DeYoung is on the 2 deep as a backup tight end. So we'll go with DeYoung on that reception for the sake of the fact that he's expected to give it a go here today. Love the duplicate numbers in college football. It's ridiculous. Here comes a Warrior run, and that for Kaysen to the 35. He's able to pick up another 10 and will keep the chain gang in motion.
As we look at Kaysen in the backfield after that run, built more like a halfback, or a fullback, than a halfback, comes in at 5'8", 230. Big boy in the backfield put his shoulder down on that one, picks up a nice gain.
A nice drive so far being put together by Matheson, who's already 3 for 3 passing. With Gamble on the move, gets the handoff. Looking over to that right side. And he was stopped with the Falcon tackle provided by Dwayne Rackard III. Let's check out the starting offense for Wisconsin Lutheran. And again, they have Patrick Matheson at quarterback, Case in that backfield with Javion Morgan, Nick Charles Kral, and Christian Woyak as the wide receivers. Matt Brennan expected to be the tight end, although we've seen Dan DeYoung already with a reception in this game. You have Connor Young, Trent Dean, Logan Kehoe, Jacob Zimmerman, and Parker Bayard on that offensive line. And again, Kehoe, the starting center. Fake handoff and throw. And looking for separation. Ball's dropped. Dropped by Christian Woyak. He was well covered, but somehow nearly hauled it in. Coverage provided by Deshaun Battle. Let's check out the Falcon starting defense. Yeah, Cameron Kohler, Caleb Young, Eric Keller. The defensive line with Cody Lemley, Troy Stewart, Dwayne Rackard III, Devin Shabilsky. The linebackers, Deshaun Battle, Josiah McDermott, Jacob Mason, and John Rao. The defensive backs. 3rd down, 6 yards to go. Warriors will throw again over the middle. That's where they've had success already in this opening drive, and success again. So give the completion to Matt Brannon, the junior tight end. And it appears we have our first penalty of the game. Okay, these are 2 least penalized teams in the conference. They call offensive pass interference here against the Warriors. The officials for this game, Benjamin Lagaki is our head referee. You have Ted Schermetzler, the line judge, Michael Wingender, the umpire, Justin Marion, the side judge, John Hum, the back judge, Vince DePlaris, the head linesman, and then Aaron Schramm, the field judge. That's a big penalty as it moves the football back to the 46. You're looking at a first down gain off that completion, and all of a sudden now back to 3rd down. And a good 21 yards to go.
Yeah, big break there for the Falcons. Like you talked about so far, WLC kind of carving up the Falcon defense up the middle. A lot of quick slants, a lot of 7-8 yard completions so far. Been very effective.
Well, it trips to this left side. Matheson steps up and fires up that right side, and it's going to be incomplete, almost picked off. Almost picked off by Mason on a pass intended for Javion Morgan. And got to watch out because that's one of the matchups I'm interested to watch throughout the course of this game. We talk all about how these are sort of the top 3 passing teams in the conference. But for the Falcons, their secondary, they've been awfully strong too. And already with 11 interceptions, it's a defense that's allowed about 1,570 yards and 11 scores through 9 games. They've had some strong showings. And again, showing it there with that battle that would see the win go to Jacob Mason and denying Morgan that reception. And now the punt. That was Bornschlegel. And it's downed at the 20. And so both teams, Logan, with promising starts to their drives, and both seen those drives stall as they started to get closer and closer in their opponent territory.
Yeah, and like we talked about before the game, might have put a curse on. We talked about WLC not hurting themselves. Definitely did there on what caused their drive to stall. The Falcons just, it seems like, kind of got away with what they were doing to move the ball down the field, mixing of the run and the pass, but we'll see once again as they start this drive if they're able to pick out little chunks like they were able to do in the first couple possessions.
Nixon loves to throw on the go, able to do just that and could put his pass with Nick Ruiz. Able to come through with that reception. Do note we're going to be keeping an eye on the scoreboard throughout the course of the day too, and we talked about this if you're just joining us. Maybe new information to you, but for the Falcons, they still have an opportunity to qualify for the NCAA Players for the first time since 2013, thanks to a point differential between a grouping of teams. But they have to win first. They need Lakeland to beat Aurora. Right now, that's not happening. Aurora is winning 6-0 with 4:28 left in the opening quarter, and then they need Eureka to lose to a hard-to-figure-out Rockford squad. That game kicks off at 1 o'clock. if that all happens, the Falcons' only tiebreaker thanks to a point differential in the head-to-heads among the grouping of three as Montgomery on this Falcon run. That Rockford team beating Concordia, shutting out the Falcons, in fact. Beat Lakeland, convincing score. Close in a number of games, but then they lost to Concordia Chicago, the Cougars' only conference win so far this season. Nixon throws. Rippertella covered. There was a flag down, ball picked off. Interception for Trevor Sewell, but there was a flag down after Rippertella. He was well covered. There was a sea of players. Now we have another flag that comes flying in. So a couple of flags down right now. As it sits, it's interception for Trevor Sewell. We'll see if it stands. As it would also be for Nixon, the 10th pick he has thrown.
Yeah, interesting to see. I wonder, guess we'll find out if Nixon saw something that warranted that throw. I mean, it was kind of lobbed up there into triple coverage with Rippertella.
Holding here against the Warriors takes away the interception. So that's a couple of penalties now for, again, a team that has been very disciplined throughout the course of the season. Couple of shoot yourself in the foot type penalties. One that ended that last, what was a successful drive to date, stalled. Would have been a first down gain. Would have been right there, if not in the red zone, right on the doorstep. Moved them back to a 3rd and 21 scenario, and that drive came to a close. And now this, all of a sudden, keeps the Falcons moving with a first down and 10. But it also takes away that pick that would have given the Warriors the football right back with the first turnover of this meeting. Turnovers last year, 3 for the Warriors, 2 for the Falcons. From the Falcon 42, Nixon throws, incomplete. Might be a hard day to catch the football, but right now Nixon's just trying to grip it, and he's been missing his receivers. D'Anthony Lee turned, and that ball just kind of sailed by.
Yeah, we were wondering what kind of effect the weather would have on this game, and we've seen it so far. Nixon, a couple of uncharacteristically errant throws. Looking to push the ball downfield a little bit.
He's 2 for 7 right now passing, and so the Falcons go back to the ground looking to find a little success as they keep going the direction of Montgomery, who's getting a healthy workload here in this opening quarter. Make it Nixon now officially 2 for 8 with that latest incomplete throw to D'Anthony Lee. But Montgomery with another run. He's carried the ball now on, make it 6 occasions for 34 yards along at 12. Facing 3rd down and 6. Falcons about to face 3rd down for the 3rd time. They're 1 for 2 on their opening drive. This now being their 2nd drive this first quarter. That's down to 6:27 remaining. Nixon will keep it. First time we've seen him run the football, and he has himself a first down gain. And I don't know how he doesn't. We've seen that so often this year. He will run straight down the gut, and he finds some wiggle room, and he makes something out of nothing, and he did there. Heck of a run there by Aaron Nixon.
Yeah, and talking about Aaron Nixon comes into this game with exactly 10,000 career offensive yards, only the second player in Falcon history to do that since switching over to the NCAA era. 8,608 passing yards and 1,392 rushing yards in his career coming into this one.
Austin Damaski being the other QB that has accomplished that feat. Nixon will step up and fire. Rippertelli intended target. He gets bumped, and he cannot haul it in, but a shoulder-to-shoulder bump, and we will flag that comes flying in. But that contact was made by Ty Castillo, the freshman defensive back from San Antonio, Texas. And it was blatant from up here that he certainly made shoulder-to-shoulder contact as Rippertelli was looking to make his move inward. And so pass interference will be whistled here against the Warriors, who've been penalized now 3 times. And the first 2 penalties resulted in 25 yards, so start tacking on more, and all of a sudden this team is almost at their average already in this opening quarter for the number of penalty yards that they average per game.
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about 3 penalties halfway through the first quarter, that's not always a huge detriment, but like you said, the ones that they have accumulated so far have been big drive-deciding penalties. The Falcons take out another big chunk here.
Well, you're right. They're not the small false start offside type penalties. They've had 3 penalties now for 40 yards against. Again, they average 45 penalty yards a game, the fewest in the conference. Now a false start will be the first penalty against the Falcons. That will back them up 5 yards. Look at first down and 15 now, back at the 37. No score. 5:49 to go here in the opening quarter. We expect this one perhaps to be more of a grinded-out type battle as they have produced against one another in recent memory in this battle for the Traveling Luther Cup. Nixon had the option. Now we'll flip it over to Montgomery, and Montgomery's got to find it, and he falls down. He stumbles all the way back to the 48 for a loss of 11. Montgomery, at least the awareness to pick up that loose football, but man, unable to recover as he was stumbling around and trying to maintain his balance, and down he goes. Big loss here. Now you're looking at second down and 26.
Look for the Falcons to try to pick up a chunk, at least 10 here, something through the air to give themselves a chance on third.
Playing this series without Josh Sanders. He was out there to start the game, but didn't look 100% as he was making his way off the field. Nixon's going to be sacked. All the way back at the 47 inside the Falcons' own territory. Another 5 yards lost. You look at it now, third down and 31. Falcons will come out with, let's see, they will have Tanner Hill, one of the wide receivers, bottom of your screen, along with Rippertella. Isaiah Tennant had a big game a couple of weeks ago on that far side, and a quick throw goes to Hill at midfield. He's going to be tackled at the Warrior 45 for a gain of 8. It's going to be now fourth down and a good, give or take, 22, 23 yards to go.
Yeah, I have to say those two plays were probably the most back-to-back negative yardage plays, not resulting from a penalty or anything, but really unforced errors on the first one. Obviously, Nixon going down on second down.
So now Jacob Mason forced to punt it away. And the Warriors position Nick Charles Crawl. He is back to receive. Mason just does get rid of it. And it's going to bounce inside the 10, inside the 5. It's going to be down near the 4 or 3 yard line. Taking a great Falcon bounce. And for Concordia, ball down by Lee Andrew Carter, a linebacker out of nearby Milwaukee. So that worked out beautifully for the Falcons and for Jacob Mason. But again, we've now seen, okay, it goes back to the Falcons. They were moving the football again, and then all of a sudden, bam, you get a penalty that goes in your favor, but then a loss, a fumble recovery, if you will, for Montgomery, and then a sack of Nixon, and things go backwards, and that drive quickly comes to an end.
Yeah, continuing the theme there of looking impressive for the first half of a drive and then having one or two plays that are just absolute drive killers, leading to the Falcons giving the ball back to Wisconsin Lutheran again, but like you said, at least a great punt, stuffing them down in their own territory.
Jake Anderson now at quarterback, and a throw is going to be complete. That throw for Woyak. Anderson, he has put in all but 2 games, so this is nothing new if you're sitting there going, well, wait a minute, what happened to Matheson? Well, Anderson has been out there plenty as well this campaign. Last week he went 4-13 for 29 yards. He was sacked 1 time, got sacked 5 times a couple of games ago against Aurora. But the big performance he had came against Hope. He got plenty of playing time in non-conference 53-12 loss, in which he threw the ball 33 times. Kaysen in the backfield. Gets his number called. And Kaysen finding an opening. He's across the 20. Some good sides there for Kaysen. Hard to bring down an extracurricular activity. And right now, if you're the Falcons, play within yourself because the frustration showed in the Falcons pushing Kaysen after he was out of bounds. Got to be a little bit smarter. And with 2 minutes and 47 seconds to go here in the opening quarter, personal foul. That's going to go against Anthony Cooper, the freshman defensive back. They say 39. Cooper from Orange, California. So the ball gets moved up now to the 38-yard line. So it was a promising start, pinned back inside the 5, and all of a sudden, a couple of snaps later, and the Warriors, they're in business. Anderson's going to air it deep down that right side, and Mason deflects it away. Incomplete intended for Javion Morgan. So a couple of times we've seen a couple of pass breakups now from the kicker, punter, defensive back that is Jacob Mason.
Yeah, and interesting to look. Morgan, the second leading receiver for the Warriors, and it looked like on that first battle that he had with Mason, he might have had a step on him and was underthrown a little bit, but that one, Mason with him, stride for stride.
And going back that direction, only this time, Jacob Mason, he was covering, looked like Levi Schieffer. Indeed, it was Schieffer, and boy, that's gutsy for Anderson. Going back the same direction, now different receiver, but being covered by Mason. Now it's 3 pass breakups in this opening quarter.
I don't know what they saw in the tape that made them want to go after Mason, but he's held his own so far. Won every battle that they've thrown at him.
I don't know if it's the size. You see 5'9" and go, well, maybe we can throw it high and beat him, but he's got that great leaping ability. Third down, dump pass, and it's almost intercepted. Kaysen, the intended target, nearly picked off. Oh, right there for the taking. Trevion Williams, an opportunity for the Falcons. He was downfield along with Trayvon Collins, but it could have been maybe a pick six for the Falcons because there was plenty of daylight on that south end of the field. It would have been the first Falcon defensive score of the season.
Well, it looked like it almost caught Williams off guard. He was putting his head down to deliver a big hit, and all of a sudden the ball's in his lap. Didn't know what to do with it.
Bornschlegel punts it away. Tennett and Coy back to receive, but no return possibility. Ball will bounce inside the 20 and be downed at the 17. And that's been the story of this opening quarter. Promising starts going awry for both teams' first 2 drives as the Warriors move the football. Benefited from a penalty. Had the ball quickly to the 38, and then things went south.
Yeah, momentum comes and goes quickly in this one so far in the first quarter here for both teams. Like to see the Falcons just, get something going and continue it throughout an entire drive, at least put some points on the board.
Josh turning out in the backfield, but Isaiah Tennett makes the catch. He's across the 20, up to the 25. Part of that snap, the Falcons run 19 plays for 56 yards. The Warriors, 12 plays for 63. Second down from that 25. Second down and 3. Nixon now will go to Tennett on the other side. He'll get to the 30, cuts back in across the 35, and Tennett to his backside up near the 38 for a gain of 12 or 13. The stop was made by Devontae Jones. So the Falcons gain their 9th first down already in this opening quarter, 9-3 in first downs.
As we see Josh Sanders now back out on the field once again on the near side here.
That's where Nixon's looking, but instead just throws it low and incomplete for Turner. I don't think Sanders ever turned to look, and so Nixon I don't think was comfortable throwing it his direction. And then Turner was in no position to make that catch. It was simply thrown at his feet. That stops the clock. 1:16 to go here in the first. It's been defense after some offense so far in this first quarter of play. Time of possession right now favors the Falcons by a couple of minutes plus. They're on their third drive. The Warriors 2 in so far. Nothing on the board on either side. The Falcon facing second down. Turner in the corner. Trying to get a block from Bertella. Has a first down across midfield. He is down near the Warrior 43. He's able to pick up 19 yards for the first down.
First carry for Turner there, as we didn't see him on the first 2 possessions. Like we talked about before, number 13, Matt Montgomery, getting work early, but Turner in and on his first carry of the game, finding some space outside, big gain.
He had 5 opportunities last week for 23 yards, nearly gets that many yards on that very handoff. And so the Falcons back inside of Wisconsin Lutheran territory with 45 seconds left here in the first. Turner will go slot left to Nixon. Back with that 4-receiver setup, and Turner's going backwards into Falcon territory, and a big tackle for a loss for Ty Castillo. The defensive back with a penalty goal against him earlier, making up for that yardage with that tackle for a loss. Able to blow by, and that ball gets knocked back to the 48, looking at second down with 19 yards to go. Great coverage downfield, forcing the dump off to Turner, and he's tackled back at the 45 for a loss of 3 as time expires here in the first. Third down and 22 when play resumes in the second. We have no score in this battle for the Traveling Luther Cup. It's Concordia and Wisconsin Lutheran, and you're tuning to Falcon football on the Falcon Athletic Network.
For the love of the game. That's what it's all about, they say. But for those of us who are Division III student athletes, it's more than that. A lot more.
Sure, the game is important, but as we work so hard to build both mind and body, it's more about team and the schools and communities we represent.
And for the many of us blessed with the strength to compete in sport at the college level, we understand that with what we were given comes a special obligation.
An obligation not merely to work towards a personal best in the classroom or in the sport we love, but rather an obligation to help those who have their own special needs and whose love for the game is no less intense.
That is why NCAA Division III teamed up with Special Olympics. For Special Olympics athletes, victory belongs not only to those who first cross the line, but to all of those who compete and endure.
They are challenged in ways we cannot imagine. They are survivors who test themselves harder and with greater joy than we will ever know.
Since August of 2011, we and others from Division III campus communities have volunteered more than 250,000 hours.
Back here at Tomasini Stadium with no score about to begin the second quarter. It's third down and good 22 yards to go for the Falcons. Looking to keep their third drive alive, and Nixon has some time. Now will throw it deep down that right sideline, and it's over the head of Sanders. Able to create that separation. Coverage downfield for the Warriors by Tony Orlando and Trevor Seawald, with an interception taken back because of a penalty in this game. Well, no score in this battle for the Luther Cup. Wrapping up the 2018 regular season, the Falcons need a victory. They need some help if they have hopes of qualifying for the NCAA playoffs. They need Rockford to win at Eureka, kick off in about 20 minutes. They need Lakeland to knock off Aurora.
Yeah, and you just hate to see the Falcons time and time again in this one so far put themselves in position on third down and 15, 20 plus where they have to throw up those prayers.
And again, no return for this Jacob Mason punt is going to bounce inside the 15, be downed by Trammell near the 13-14. Get an update shortly from the Aurora Lakeland game that was moving along down the land of Lincoln. Also, Benedictine at Concordia Chicago to wrap up those two teams' regular season. Lakeland, a squad who was, they've been a tough team to figure out this season, at least by their standards. They had won a piece of the last 4 consecutive conference titles. Right now, they lead Aurora 8-6 with 13:24 to go in the second, so that's good news for the Falcons. And Lakeland with an opportunity to claim a piece of their 5th straight conference title. Of again, Rockford can continue to surprise many. Big hit provided there by Deshaun Battle, disrupting any kind of a completion possibility for Brandon Livingston, the freshman wide receiver.
Battle excited about that hit. Looked like he could have potentially turned and looked for the ball and had himself a walk-in touchdown. See, obviously beat the ball there on a swing-out pass by the Warriors.
Now, one guy we have yet to see in this game, or at least make a play, is J.K. Ritkovsky, the senior wide receiver, and bring him up because he was an all-conference honorable mention last year. That run for Case, and for the Warriors, there were higher expectations than what this team has produced so far. Yes, they were predicted 5th out of 8 teams, but that's because they did bring back 4 of 9 all-conference performers and experienced quarterback, and they had a promising running back in Todd Lehman, a junior who has not played since October the 13th. But even from a receiving standpoint, Woyak's played well, Morgan's played well. Witkowski, only 16 catches so far, his top game. Or his top season came last year. He was the team's top receiver when he had 34 catches for 409 yards and 3 scores. So his numbers are down. False start here against Wisconsin. Lutheran, that's been the story for the Warriors so far. Just joining us in the fact that they've been penalized now 4 times for 45 yards. So they've been penalized more than their average in yards per game. There have been some costly penalties that have taken away some promising starts to at least their first couple of offensive drives. They're now facing 3rd down and 11. The Warriors are 1 for 4 in 3rd down efficiency. And you see the 3rd down stat. Neither team has excelled yet in that category. And on a incomplete throw to Livingston, a big hit taken by Matheson. He's back out there, quarterback for this series. He was the starter. And in the second series, they went Anderson's route back to Matheson. But now a turnover here, and we will see the Warriors punt it away.
You talked about Lehman not playing right now because of suspected injury. We haven't really seen anyone for the Warriors kind of step up to fill that role so far. Lehman's still the leading rusher on the team besides Matheson at quarterback, so haven't really seen a receiver fill that void, that the production that he was giving them before being injured.
Punt goes out for Born Schlegel. You bring up a great point, because when you look at the Warriors last year, and it was an offense that had about 276 yards a game, a little more balanced. They threw for about 149, ran for about 126. This year, that's out the window. It's about 223 passing to 80 rushing. So it has become more of a pass-first offense, or it is a pass-first offense, but the points have not been there. And an offense has struggled. The most points they've scored in the game is 35. They have scored 30-plus 4 times, but they've only won one of those contests. Falcons with a very short field to work with from the 41 already on the Warriors side of midfield. Nixon fake handoff to Turner. Will step up and throw to the outside. It's off the hands and incomplete. Looking for Tanner Hill. And Nixon now is 6 of 15 passing.
You see a 2nd down and 10 coming up here for the Falcons. I'd like to see them just pick up a couple positive yards. They don't have to pick it all up in one shot, but they've been consistently picking up nothing on 2nd down so far and putting themselves in 3rd and long situations. Give themselves a little shorter of a field to work with.
The run by Turner. 1st down gain inside the 30.
Or just run for it all on 2nd down.
Well, I was starting to think about this, and maybe we underestimate the weather, because it feels like 19-degree temperature with the wind, with the actual temperature in this contest. And so I wonder if maybe perhaps some of these receivers are underestimating what that ball is going to feel like when it hits your hand, and it's maybe something they're not anticipating. And you see Hill. I mean, that's a catchable football that went incomplete. You look at the Warrior combination of Matheson and Anderson. They're combined 4 of 11 passing, and haven't been necessarily some bad throws as the Warrior injury stoppage sees Joe Stachinski leave the game. Although also give the Falcons secondary some credit for breaking up some of those throws. But nonetheless, I think we're starting to underestimate being in a cozier booth, maybe how cold it is down there on the field, and trying to catch a football in weather like this that maybe you're not accustomed to at this level this late in the season, because, heck, it snowed here in the first week of November.
Yeah, and it's different. Obviously, you're out there an hour before the game on the field, but, when you're going through your pregame warm-ups, you're moving the whole time. You're not idle on the sideline, and coming in and trying to catch a rock out there.
I do like the Warriors' tackling ability, and great job there as Rippertella trying to stiff arm the defense, dragged down by Jody Stachinski. This is a team that's not missing very often, at least not to start this game. They got the sure hands, and they're dragging guys. We've seen a number of tackles for losses already in this game. They have the sure thing. They're not missing.
It seems like every time Falcons run the ball outside, they're either picking up 10-plus or losing yards on every single run. They found some success pounding the ball up the middle. Let's see if they go back to that now.
It is 2nd and 15. Rippertel just off the line on this left side. Turner is still the running back to the right of Nixon. Gets the handoff, looking to break to the outside. Rippertel's the lead blocker, but again, an ankle-high tackle made. Another fine tackle credited to Matt Goodell. He came in number 2 on the team and tackles with a total of 56, 3 tackles for a loss and 4 breakups. But the senior from Belvedere, Illinois, making it 3rd down and 13 for only a 2-yard gain. Inside of 12 minutes left here in this first half. No Sanders on this snap as Nixon about to be, well, he fumbled the football first. It's bouncing around. After the Warrior hit provided by Brandon Morrissey, the Falcons recover. It's going to be 4th down. And Rippertella and, let's see, underneath the pile for Concordia, the fumble recovery for Tyler Ryan. So the right guard finds a loose pigskin that the Warriors certainly had an opportunity to pick up. They move the ball up off that fumble to the 31. It's 4th down and still about 12 yards to go after a big hit provided by Morrissey, looking for a sack, almost got one. He has 8.5 tackles for a loss this season as Morrissey was a second-team all-conference selection last fall.
Looked like Nixon was maybe even trying to get rid of it or throw it away, so he was being spun to the ground and just lost it.
Well, now he's going to be sacked. And the Warriors sack for Mario Cordero. 6'3", 295 pounds. The sophomore gets some help from Morrissey. Another sack for the Warriors. They came in with 13, 5th best in the conference. And a turnover on downs as the Warriors will take over from their own 38. And boy, a short field. Started off at the 41. Already inside Warrior territory. And not much progress made thereafter. Offense, last couple of games having a tough time finding rhythm. They've run 32 plays for 87 yards and average about 2.7 yards a snap so far in this first half. And the Warriors want to take advantage. Nothing so far. That latest Warrior run credited to Isaiah Butler.
Kind of the theme of the day for Falcons offense so far has been negative yardage plays. Seems like every time they get a little bit of momentum, they lose 5 or 7 or more yards on a play and back themselves up and just never recover. And it's kind of how we've seen every drive so far go.
Ken Anderson back at quarterback for his second series. Has an open field on his right side. Thought about taking off. Now he will. Off the stutter step. He's going to take a hit and be wrestled to the ground near the 43 for a pickup of upwards of 7. Boy, if he doesn't hesitate, he might have a first down gain. But kept looking downfield to see what his options were. And finally, he had Cody Lemley, one of these seniors being honored today on Senior Day, was during a pregame ceremony, come through with the stop along with the sophomore defensive lineman, Phillip Johnson.
Anderson not afraid of some contact out there. 6'3", 225.
Top 4 in rushing for the Warriors. I mean, think about that. Their top 4 rushers, 2 are quarterbacks. And now in motion for the Warriors, Matt Brandon, the tight end. Here comes the rush. And getting rid of it does Anderson, but a good rush from Travis Damasio, the sophomore defensive lineman. And now Lemley. Greg Eder right now getting within earshot of Lemley saying, get away. I see right now a little trash talking going on between Lemley and the Warriors. Trent Deans, a junior offensive lineman at 308 pounds. 4th down now. Isaiah Tennett back to receive for the Falcons. And this punt here for Born Schlegel. Tennett will let it bounce. There's been no return possibility on punts so far in this first half. And rolls inside the 15. Finally, as they continue to try to sweep the ball downfield, it's going to be downed at about the 13-14.
Thought they might be playing curling out there.
Oh, I'll tell you. I was about to say before that whole sweeping motion, love a good Lutheran Bowl. Brings out the best in people. The Luther Cup on the line. We have some trash talking going on. Good Lutheran battle between the Falcons and the Warriors on this Saturday to wrap up the regular season with no score. 9 minutes and 2 seconds to go till halftime. And for the Falcons, it means a little bit more than just a trophy in the trophy case. Trying to keep hope alive at a playoff appearance. Nixon will dump it off on the screen. And that's going to be a loss of a couple of yards by the time all said and done. Montgomery made the catch, but he was met and tackled by Matt Goodell. And we may have a flag down as well as the officials will come together and converse. Again, only about a 2-yard, well, let's see. Personal foul. That's going to go against Rashid Simon. Takes away what would have been a loss anyways. Noted is 21-7. Benedictine over Concordia, Chicago with 8:26 left in the second. Down in River Forest, Illinois. And Lakeland on top of Aurora, 8-6. 7:10 left in the second in that one. Eureka and Rockford about to get underway in about 8 minutes. Eureka already has won at least a share of the NAC regular season title. We'll get the automatic qualifier with a victory over the Regions. That's as simple as it gets for the Red Devils after they won a conference title last year in their old conference affiliation. Montgomery on the run. He gets to the 18. That's a gain of about 12.
Falcons doing a good job there. At least, like we talked about, another second and long situation, but just picking up a good chunk of yardage to at least have a reasonable opportunity here on a 3rd and medium to try to keep this drive alive after some initial setbacks.
Rippertella in motion. Nixon again getting chased, and he's going down again. Another sack, which includes Brandon Morrissey. He's been right in the midst of all these takedowns. The 3rd sack now for the Warriors in this first half. Also there for Wisconsin Luther's Matt Goodell. This offensive line we knew coming in from the get-go was young, but to their credit, getting better with every passing week. And all of a sudden, this Warrior team has something figured out. They've been able to get by this line, and they've continued to put the pressure on Nixon, not allowing him much time to even think about what he wants to do with that football.
Yeah, tough situation for the Falcons to be in because, like you said, anytime Nixon drops back has absolutely no time. So Falcons trying to work some quicker passes, some screen passes, but being stuffed on those the second they touch the ball too. So Falcons got to change something up on offense.
Well, the Falcons, you saw the stat. They've had the ball now 4 times, only averaging about 2.5 yards a snap. Warriors about 4 yards a snap, but now it's their turn to work with a shorter field. They begin from the Falcon 46. It's their 4th possession. They've run 18 plays for 72 yards. It's a grinder so far as we have surpassed the halfway point here in the second. No score. Falcons, Warriors to wrap up the 2018 regular season. And we got movement already in front. You got to stay disciplined and stay focused. Isaiah Schultz, down he went. 5-yard penalty. Now the Falcons will sub in. Justice Trepanier taking the spot now with Schultz. Ball gets moved to the 41, so the Falcons at a 41-yard field to work with and could not capitalize. Can the Warriors take advantage on 1st and 5? Matheson back at quarterback. Kaysen on the run. Boy, he's a load to bring down. And Kaysen, he's able to get near the 37. The mini fridge, the mini bus. He's at that 37 for a 4-yard gain. It's going to be 2nd down. Able to use his size to his advantage, and we mentioned he's played in 5, make it 6 games. He was the top rusher last week. He's starting to establish himself. Kaysen getting more and more opportunities, trying to make the most of a 1st down gain here.
You talked about his size, but surprisingly agile as well. Light on his feet, some may say sneaky athletic.
Negative is he's a senior. This will be it for him today as the Warriors continue to try to establish that run. Schultz will come back into the Concordia lineup following that penalty that went against. Warriors are first down and 10 at the 35. Matheson fakes the case and will throw. That's complete near the first down marker. A reception for Dan DeYoung.
We mentioned it before. I'd be interested to hear the strategy between switching Matheson and Anderson out on every possession, new quarterback on each drive. Not sure what the end game or the advantage of that is.
Do know what that Corey Diedrich, I gave it to Young, 88, not 80 on that reception, and the flag will fly back in. It was a 9-yard gain, so it's second down and 1. No, and you're right. They've been going back and forth between Matheson and Anderson already on series in this one. Only games that Anderson's not played in were in matchups against Lawrence Tech and Eureka, as the Warriors lost to the first place Red Devils 54-35. No penalty here. Flag picked up. 5:16 to go here in the second quarter. Glad to be along here on the Falcon Athletic Network for continuing coverage of Falcon Athletics, wrapping up the fall season. Matheson. Kaysen. Every day. I'd give it to Kaysen every time. On a 1-yard gain, you need 1 or 2 yards to be gained. Kaysen, I mean, it takes a couple of guys that slow him when he gets a little bit of momentum. He gets a little bit of a running start, which he did there upon receiving the handoff. Not an easy stop to be made, and it's going to be a 1st and 10 now at the Falcon 24. Why not keep going that direction, see what he can do for you. He's carried the ball 5 times so far for 33 yards along at 13. Instead, they will throw. It's going to be caught. What a grab. Reaching out there. Nick Charles Crawl with the first. Well, let's see. He put his hand out to those first down, but
might have been half yard.
Yeah, he's going to be just short. I don't think I've seen that before where a receiver tells the entire crowd first down, and it's not.
I mean, if you're going to celebrate with the first down
make sure you have
celebration, don't let it be close.
After a great catch. Now you can celebrate a first down on the run. First time, it's Allen Jackson. Jackson came in number 3 in the team in rushing with 45 carries for 127 yards, which included a big game against Rockford, in which he carried the ball 7 times for 53. That's big for this Warrior ground game. Inside the red zone, and for the Warriors, 81% in the red zone, first in the conference, 25 of 31. And of those 25 scores, 18 have been touchdowns.
Yeah, interesting dynamic there that
it's going to be a touchdown run here. Jackson and the Warriors with a 6-0 lead.
They struggle so much getting to the end zone, but once they get there, extremely successful.
And now the reigning NAC Special Teams Player of the Week about to attempt his extra point. That being Born Schlegel. Here's PAT on its way. It is good. It is 7-0 Wisconsin Lutheran. We got 7 plays, 46 yards, aided by a penalty. And so a 7-0 lead. And watch this Jackson touchdown run again from a good 12 yards out, a 12-yard run. And go figure, the first score in a battle of 2 out of the top 3 passing offenses comes on the ground.
Wisconsin Lutheran found a lot of success there on the ground, mostly with Kaysen moving the ball down the field, but just doing a good job on that drive unlike any other drive from either team that we've seen today, just continuing to chip away, pick up positive yardage on each play. Nothing catastrophic happened, unlike everything else that we've seen here today for both the Falcons and the Warriors so far. So we'll see how the Falcons respond now with just over 3.5 left.
Jackson's first rushing touchdown of the year, the 6th for the Warriors collectively. Bornschlegel on the kickoff. Tennant and Montgomery back to receive. Isaiah Tennant will watch this one fly out of the end zone for the touchback. 3:35 to go here in the second, as you see on the bottom of your screen on the scoreboard. All 3 timeouts still intact for both teams. Warriors get the ball first to begin the third quarter, second half. Well, down 7 as the Warriors strike first. Now the Falcons looking to respond. They have not scored since that last home game against the Red Devils. And the Falcons shootout in which they lost 48-45 despite jumping in front 14-0 and allowed the game-winning touchdown with 19 seconds left. Started out last week for the first time in conference play since 2001. Exactly 17 years to the day. Nice run across the 40. Turner. So Josh Turner, he is out to the Falcon 42. So a good 17-yard run. Turner again. Nothing down the middle, so he bounces to the outside, lowers the shoulder, and he's across midfield inside Warrior territory to the 49. He's able to pick up a good 9 yards. Very determined run there by Josh Turner.
Well, if you watched just that last possession and the start of this one, I don't know if you would believe us in pregame when we talked about the 2 high-powered passing offenses.
But right now, it's want to rumble their way downfield. As Nixon about to be... Oh, I fumbled the football! On the fumble recovery, the Warriors have it. A fumble recovery for Brandon Morrissey as Nixon again loses the football. About to be sacked for the 4th time. Ball popped free and Morrissey able to pick it up, and he is dragged down just shy of the 20. Ball at the 22 after the fumble by Aaron Nixon. Easy to second guess up here in the booth, but you just talked about it. Why throw the football when the ground game had been working on the previous 2 snaps, although perhaps you're trying to keep the Warrior defense on their toes. But this defense nearly came through with a 4th sack, forcing the fumble, and the game's first turnover.
And it's easy to point fingers there at Nixon for losing the ball, but every single time he's dropped back today hasn't had
anytime
a second.
Kaysen inside the red zone now with this run that gets him to the near sideline. What an opportunity now for the Warriors, because if you can score here and get the ball first to begin the third quarter, you can really create some separation of what has been an offensive struggle really on both sides.
First time kind of all day that we've seen either team kind of pick up some momentum and continue it for a couple minutes here in this game as they look to kind of wind the clock down before an opportunity to punch it in here.
They also have a pretty good field goal unit, but going to the end zone, open, and a touchdown! Wide open was Javion Morgan. 13-0 Wisconsin Lutheran, just like that.
Forget everything I said about running the clock down. They thought we'll just score now.
They've scored now twice in about a minute 38. From 0-0 to 13-0 Wisconsin Lutheran, and Bornschlegel will attempt the PAT. He came in 12 for 12 in extra points. He's 13 for 13. And with this, he's now 14 for 14 since taking over for Grant Fleming, who last year, a nice talent. Fleming has not played since the season opener. Here's the touchdown once again, involving Javion Morgan. Boy, spacing, open, the catch. Morgan, 4th receiving touchdown of the season. He had one last week, 2 in the win against Concordia Chicago.
Like you said, after 27 minutes of scoreless play, in a minute 38, we get 2 touchdowns. Back to back. What a change of pace from what we've seen all game so far.
2 plays, 22-yard following the fumble recovery by Morrissey, and a 17-yard touchdown reception from Morgan. Minute 57 to go here in the first half. Bornschlegel on the kickoff. Tennant near the 4. Tripped up shy of the 20, but a 15-yard return. And the special teams tackle from Brian Plaster right now. Boy, you would think the Warriors are playing for an opportunity to be in the postseason, not the Falcons. This team with all kinds of momentum, they're playing with an extra bounce in their step. The Falcons already look defeated in some areas when you look down on the field. There's lots of football left.
We talked about 2 other scenarios that have to happen today for the Falcons, but none of that matters. They have to win here first, and they just don't, like you said, look like.
They just look down to the dumps.
Yeah, they don't look like they have it like.
Well, Nixon throws wide open. Nice catch here for Jake Busher to the Warrior 45. Now that will help. That's a nice 35-yard gain.
Seems like that was the first time all day that Nixon was able to drop back, step up in the pocket.
But he didn't. I was going to say, that it almost looked like he lofted it, though, that throw. But nonetheless, Busher was open.
Yeah, it didn't hurt that Busher was running free in the middle of the field, but.
Nixon, Hill, cannot hang on. So cannot hang on as Tanner Hill, the intended target. Note that Lakeland has gone to halftime with a 14-6 lead over Aurora. That game at halftime now. That's one of the parts of this scenario that would benefit Concordia. They need Lakeland to win. They need Eureka to lose to Rockford. That game just underway. 2nd down and 10 from the Warrior 45. Trying to find some rhythm, some momentum to this offense. It's been shut out and is on the verge of being shut out for a 3rd consecutive half. Nixon hit from behind. I don't think he even knew somebody was right on his tail. Stop was made by Nathan Iwaskowitz. Knocked back to the 48. Loss of 3. 3rd and 13. Not a minute left here in the second quarter. Nixon gets a block. Not much else to work with, but he does complete his throw to that far sideline. Hill on the reception before he is pushed to the sideline. Pushed to the sideline by Devontae Jones.
4th down and 4 here. Falcons offense looks like they're staying out there. Not much choice here with 44 seconds left.
Turner, 1st down and more. Touchdown Falcons. 39-yard touchdown run for Josh Turner on 4th down. Might that be the pick-me-up this offense needs with 36 seconds left till halftime?
Seems like it took both teams almost an entire half to wake up, but all of a sudden, we've had more excitement in the last 3 minutes than the rest of the game combined.
These teams are used to that 1 o'clock kickoff. Jacob Mason with the extra point. And Jacob Mason makes it 14-7. Wisconsin Lutheran. Mason on that PAT is now 31-33 on the year. And more importantly, the Falcons, who, again, at times they looked like they were getting frustrated. They were kind of moping. They weren't showing much life. Hopefully that has brought this team back to life. Look at this run by Turner. All he needed was a few yards to keep the drive alive. Nat Moore able to score from 39 yards out. And Josh Turner, a rushing touchdown for the Falcons. Their 12th rushing score of the year. That's his 4th. The other 8 belong to Aaron Nixon. So the last, 3 minutes and 1 second has produced 3 scores after nothing until that 3:35 mark here in this second. Jacob Mason will be kicking it away. And Wisconsin Lutheran will position Tyree Gamble. He is back to receive. He along with Nick Charles Kroll. And still both teams have all 3 timeouts remaining. Warriors get the ball first 2 to begin the third quarter. The Warrior return from Jody Stuczynski. Stopped near that 31.
27 seconds of defense. Falcons need to head into halftime only down 7. Like you said, they'll be giving the ball away again to start the second half.
I think if you're the Warriors, just play it safe here and just run the ball. And again, knowing you get the ball first to begin the third, you don't want to take any chances here, giving up a pick 6 and going into halftime with a tie game versus this 7-point lead. Or fumble, for that matter. I mean, stranger things have happened.
And they'll just take a knee here. And
with Matheson at quarterback. So they do, in fact, like to play it safe, knowing they get the football first to begin the third quarter and second half. But, all right, 14-7 the score with Wisconsin Lutheran in front here in this battle for the Luther Cup. Warriors trying to beat the Falcons for a 5th consecutive meeting. And it was a grinder of a matchup until we got to the last 3 minutes or so, and all of a sudden, both offenses starting to figure some things out. Falcons have run 43 plays for 164 yards. Warriors 27, now make it 28 plays for 134 yards. But I think that score at the end for the Falcons was enormous because, as mentioned, you kind of got the sense the Falcons, they were kind of moping a little bit because, perhaps some of the frustration of the way this game has been directed. That and the fact, at times there's been some chippiness. But I don't know what it is, but they just seem lifeless. And they were down 7-0, but then a turnover led to another score, down 14. Perhaps maybe it's the culmination of the last 3 halves of football that have been tough for the Falcons to swallow after a great deal of success during that 5-game win streak. But all of a sudden that score by Josh Turner, you see some life now on this west sideline with a whole other half still to go. And I'm sure that's what Coach Edwards is going to be talking to these guys is, hey, you have one more half of football with still a possibility to potentially be playing more football come next week if things go the Falcon direction. Battling for a Luther Cup, already won the Cheese Bowl this year, the 2 traveling trophies. Trying to go out on top for these 9 seniors. And that score, enormous, and just the morale going into halftime.
For sure, it completely changes the aspect, like you said, of what you talk about going into second half, being down 14 and giving the ball right back to Wisconsin Lutheran. Not great for morale or situations as a whole, and just to see, as the Falcons, to show yourself that, your offense can produce points here in the first half, at least unable to do so far, but really all they needed, like you said, one break. Josh Turner run up the middle to change the whole dynamic of this game in the second half.
All right, so halftime upon us here at Thomasini Stadium. Stay tuned. The halftime report coming up as we continue with Falcon football. And you're live on the Falcon Athletic Network.
When you're in college, you kind of find out who you are. And throughout your 4 years, you develop yourself with all the different experiences, which leads into dedicating yourself to your community, to your family. So when you're a senior, you're coming out a well-rounded person.
College has given me the flexibility to pursue my passions and my interests outside of the classroom and outside of the court or field. I've had the ability to get into different activities and organizations, and I've recreated my identity for myself aside from just being an athlete.
Getting to be involved in a lot of different things, ranging from obviously being a student athlete to getting involved with my campus and my community, and not only being allowed to do that, but being encouraged to do that.
The opportunity to be able to study what I wanted to and continue to play the sport I love, to have the professors know me on a personal level, all of those things came together very nicely in one package in Division III.
Being a part of the different activities and organizations that I've been a part of, I'm actually able to see myself where I'm like, hey, I actually can make a change. I'm one person that can make a difference. It really helps you develop thinking from other people's perspectives and looking at problems from outside the box.
Division III has helped me to develop teamwork skills, critical thinking skills, time management skills.
I've definitely learned how to really be myself. I found out, yes, I am actually a good leader, and yes, I can actually put myself forward because I am good enough. I can do it.
Coming in to college, I just wanted to get good grades and to do well. But it also made me realize that I have a lot of different career goals, and I've learned so much about myself that I was always like growing and changing.
When I got to college, it forced me to step up and become more of a leader. And I think that was something I had the capability of doing. And forever grateful that being at a Division III school gave me that opportunity.
You have to dedicate your time in the classroom, you have to dedicate your time in the gym, on the field, on the court.
Our coaches and the entirety of the athletic department, they valued the student athlete going out to community and trying something new and getting involved in campus life.
You can get involved in so many different things. So the possibilities are truly limitless for what you can do with your college experience. You can kind of make it your own in the Division III setting. So I would encourage people who want to have flexibility to pursue different interests and passions to go D3.
When you're in college, you kind of find out who you are. And throughout your 4 years, you develop yourself with all the different experiences, which leads into dedicating yourself to your community, to your family. So when you're a senior, you're coming out a well-rounded person.
College has given me the flexibility to pursue my passions and my interests outside of the classroom and outside of the court or field. I've had the ability to get into different activities and organizations, and I've recreated my identity for myself aside from just being an athlete.
Getting to be involved in a lot of different things, ranging from obviously being a student athlete to getting involved with my campus and my community, and not only being allowed to do that, but being encouraged to do that.
The opportunity to be able to study what I wanted to and continue to play the sport I love, to have the professors know me on a personal level, all of those things came together very nicely in one package in Division III.
Being a part of the different activities and organizations that I've been a part of, I'm actually able to see myself where I'm like, hey, I actually can make a change. I'm one person that can make a difference. It really helps you develop thinking from other people's perspectives and looking at problems from outside the box.
Division III has helped me to develop teamwork skills, critical thinking skills, time management skills.
I've definitely learned how to really be myself. I found out, yes, I am actually a good leader, and yes, I can actually put myself forward because I am good enough. I can do it.
Coming in to college, I just wanted to get good grades and to do well. But it also made me realize that I have a lot of different career goals, and I've learned so much about myself that I was always like growing and changing.
When I got to college, it forced me to step up and become more of a leader. And I think that was something I had the capability of doing. And forever grateful that being a Division III school gave me that opportunity.
You have to dedicate your time in the classroom. You have to dedicate your time in the gym, on the field, on the court.
Our coaches and the entirety of the athletic department, they valued the student athlete going out to community and trying something new and getting involved in campus life.
You can get involved in so many different things. So the possibilities are truly limitless for what you can do with your college experience. You can kind of make it your own in the Division III setting. So I would encourage people who want to have flexibility to pursue different interests and passions to go D3.
Back at Tomasini Stadium, a 14-7 lead for Wisconsin Lutheran in this regular season finale. A battle for the Luther Cup and for the Falcons. One step of a three-step process in trying to qualify for the NCAA playoffs. They need Lakeland to beat Aurora. Right now, Lakeland leads 14-6 at halftime. They need Eureka to lose to Rockford. No score update from that one. The live stats are currently not working. What a surprise there between the Regents and the Red Devils. That game, though, is underway. That got underway at about 1 o'clock. We'll try to get you a score update from that one as soon as possible. But here are the numbers from this one. And as of right now, the Warriors with those 14 points, but 8 first downs. They've run the ball 13 times for 63 yards, 71 passing yards on 7 of 15 passing. Jake Anderson's 0 for 3, but Patrick Matheson is 7 of 12. Total of 28 plays, 134 yards, 1 kick return, 4 punts, 4 penalties for 45 yards, all occurring in the opening quarter, surpassing their average for penalty yards per game in the first quarter alone. They had the ball for 13 minutes and 12 seconds. Went 1 for 6 on third down. Did not attempt a fourth down conversion. 2 for 2 inside the red zone. Falcons with 7 points, 14 first downs. They ran the ball 24 times for 74 yards. 90 passing yards on 9 and 19 passing from Aaron Nixon. In all, 43 plays, 464 yards, couple of kick returns, 3 punts, couple of fumbles, 1 lost, 4 penalties for 31 yards. Time of possession, 16 minutes and 48 seconds. 2 for 7 on third down conversions, 1 for 2. Fourth down efficiency, which one of those fourth downs essentially leading to the Lone Falcons score, and 0 for 1 inside the red zone. You see some of the individual totals scrolling across the bottom of your screen. For the Warriors, Jake Anderson's 0 for 3 passing. Patrick Matheson, 7 of 12 for 71 yards and a score. Jake Anderson, 1 carry, 6 yards. Isaiah Butler, 1 carry, -1 yard. Alan Jackson, 2 carries for 15. Joshua Kaysen, 7 carries for 40. Brandon Livingston with a carry for 4 yards. Receiving, Javion Morgan, 1 catch, 17 yards and a score. Tyree Gamble has 1 catch. Dan DeYoung has a catch for 21 yards. Christian Woyak, 1 catch for 6. Nick Charles Crawl has 2 catches for 18, and then Cody Diedrich, 1 catch for 9 yards. As for the Falcons, Aaron Nixon, 9 for 19, passing 90 yards. He also has run the ball for 7 times for -47 yards, which also factors in a total of 3 Wisconsin Lutheran sacks. Matt Montgomery, early on, he was the ground game. 8 carries for 35 yards. Josh Turner with 7 carries for 89 yards and a score. Jake Rippertella has 2 carries for -3. Matt Montgomery, 1 catch for -1 yard. Devin Coy, 1 catch for 10. Isaiah Tennett, 2 for 20. Josh Turner, 1 catch for -2 yards. Jake Busher has a couple of catches for 46. And Tanner Hill has 2 catches for 17. Defensively, Tony Orlando has a tackle, but they've been led by Matt Goodell, who's got a total of 10 tackles, 1.5 for a loss. And then Brandon Morrissey has 1 sack. Cameron Wolf has 1.5 sacks. And then Mario Cordero has half a sack. Falcons have gotten 3 tackles from both Dwayne Rackard III and John Rao. Jacob Mason with 3 pass breakups. Scoring all began with 3:35 left in the second. It was Alan Jackson with a 12-yard rushing touchdown. And then Patrick Matheson able to complete his throw to Javion Morgan, a 17-yard touchdown pass with 1:57 left in the second, giving the Warriors a 14-0 lead after a near sack led to a fumble recovery for Brandon Morrissey. Falcon on the board right before halftime, though, with a Josh Turner 39-yard run converting on 4th down. Again, that came with 36 seconds left in the half. And Jacob Mason with the PAT making it 14-7. That's where we stand. And the Warriors get the football first to begin the third quarter, second half. When we come back, we'll take a look at the NAC football report. 14-7 Warriors in this regular season finale. You're tuning to Falcon Football on the Falcon Athletic Network.
When did our measurement of success in life become so common? Because as unpopular as it might sound, God never intended for any of us to live a comfortable life. He intended for each of us to live each day with a higher purpose, to go outside our comfort zones and use our gifts and talents in the service of others. That's why He created each one of us uniquely, remarkably, to stand apart from the crowd, to live a life that's actually uncommon. Maybe that's why at Concordia University, our students have never been satisfied with simply fitting in and doing great things, but instead becoming great people. And why our education focuses on not only developing what you know, but who you are and who you were made to be. Passionate, faithful, courageous. Because living uncommon means living a you-first life in a me-first world, which isn't the easiest way. But at Concordia, it's the only way. After all, doesn't the world already have enough common? Concordia University. Live uncommon.
I just wanted to get good grades and to do well. But it also made me realize that I have a lot of career goals.
You're there to get a full college experience, not only participate in your sport, but participate in things outside of that. And it's all about growing as a person.
My coaches have helped me with figuring out who I really am. Their lives are dedicated for us to succeed.
I just wanted to get good grades and to do well. But it also made me realize that I have a lot of career goals.
You're there to get a full college experience, not only participate in your sport, but participate in things outside of that. And it's all about growing as a person.
My coaches have helped me with figuring out who I really am. Their lives are dedicated for us to succeed.
Back at Thomas Feeney Stadium, a 14-7 lead for Wisconsin Lutheran on the NAC schedule here today, the final day of the regular season. There's still a possibility for the Falcons to qualify for the playoffs. Again, they need Lakeland to beat Aurora. They need Rockford to knock off Eureka. Rockford, there's no score update from that particular game, but Rockford's on the 5-yard line. They're about to score. That game kicked off about a half hour ago. And again, no live stats working at the moment, but there's live video with no scorebook, so not exactly sure what the score is, but the cornfields, or lack thereof, look pretty nice around the stadium. That's about all we have, along with the turf at Eureka College. We'll try to get you a score update from that game as we get it. But again, Rockford right now is inside the red zone. They're looking to strike against the Red Devils, a Rockford team that has surprised many this season. They were predicted to finish dead last. Well, right now they sit 3-6, 2-4 in the conference. But again, they have wins against the Falcons, wins against Lakeland. And right now they're battling with, at least at the moment, with Eureka. They do have a loss, though. The only conference win so far for Concordia Chicago. Current conference standings. Right now, Eureka in first place, 8-1 overall, 5-1 in conference play. Falcons currently in second place, along with Aurora and Lakeland all at 4-2 in conference play. Falcons are 6-3 overall. Aurora and Lakeland both at 4-5 overall. Both those teams have won 3 consecutive. Rockford, Benedictine, and Wisconsin Lutheran all tied for 5th, all at 2-4 in the conference. Rockford's 3-6. Benedictine and Wisconsin Lutheran both at 2-7. Benedictine has lost 3 consecutive. And Concordia Chicago in 8th and last. They're 1-5 in the conference, 2-7 overall. Last week, Rockford shut out Concordia, Wisconsin 24-0. Lakeland beat Eureka 56-55. Lakeland had a touchdown with 56 seconds left. Got the 2-point conversion goal up by 7. Eureka had a touchdown with 18 seconds left. Went for 2, fumbled the ball away. Lost the game by 1, taking that gamble. Aurora beat Benedictine 41-24. And Wisconsin Lutheran, just their second win of the year, knocking off Concordia Chicago 30-27. As mentioned, we know that Lakeland, about to begin the third quarter, leads Aurora 14-6. About to begin the third quarter, Benedictine leads Concordia Chicago 27-13. And as mentioned with Rockford and Eureka, no score update. And while it appears Rockford went for a field goal and missed. A little chip shot. Not sure what happened there, but again, maybe it's just an incomplete pass. But either way, they have not found the end zone yet, despite being only 5 yards out in their quest to score on the Red Devils. So here's the breakdown of what could happen here today. Eureka wins. They automatically have already won at least a share of the regular season title, but if they win the automatic qualifier for the postseason. Now, Eureka also received the automatic qualification with a loss and an Aurora win over Lakeland. Lakeland received the automatic qualifier with a win and losses by both Eureka and Concordia, Wisconsin. Yeah, Rockford, by the way, they did in fact miss a field goal. It deflected off the upright and ricocheted out. So they did not score in that opportunity. And again, the Falcons received the automatic qualifier with a win, a Lakeland win, and a loss by Eureka. Stay tuned. Third quarter, second half comes your way next. It is 14-7 in favor of Wisconsin Lutheran. I love the fans in the YMCA. It's like Wisconsin's unofficial theme song. We'll come back. Thomasini Stadium with Falcon football on the Falcon Athletic Network.
College has given me the flexibility to pursue my passions and my interests, and I've recreated my identity for myself aside from just being an athlete.
My greatest personal discovery has been that I am capable of doing things that I didn't know I was capable of doing.
To be able to study what I wanted to and continue to play the sport I love, all of those things came together very nicely in one package in Division III.
Welcome back to Thomasini Stadium. Matt Menzel alongside Logan Jones, wrapping up the 2018 regular season for the football Falcons, who have an opportunity to qualify for the postseason, but they need some help along the way, on top of the fact they need to find a way to beat Wisconsin Lutheran for the first time since November of 2013, down right now 14-7. Logan, your thoughts on what we saw in that first half, which was a grinder, and then all of a sudden the offense picked up the last 3 minutes and 35 seconds.
Yeah, I'm intrigued to see, as the second half starts, which football game we'll see here to start the second half. If it was the one that we saw predominantly for the first half, or the one at the end of the first half where both offenses, seem to find a little bit of a spark. Interesting to see, too, if the Falcons continue to kind of attack the ball on the ground like they found some success there. Obviously, the long run by Josh Turner yielding their only score so far, but we've discussed it time and time again. Aaron Nixon just absolutely no time to throw the ball anytime he drops back. Unable to step up into the pocket or find anyone, so it'll be interesting to see what they draw up for the Falcons here on the offensive end, how they set up the pass, if at all, or if they continue to stick to the run game.
By the way, any argument from you about the unofficial theme song of the state of Wisconsin, YMCA, Jump Around? I mean, I think both are in that category. Fans get into both of those songs. We saw some unique YMCA dances right before that commercial break.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who you are, and I don't think there's a single person here who doesn't know the YMCA. It's universally accepted.
Well, but I think some of it, too, for the fans,
It's easy enough that everyone can do it.
They're doing what they can to stay warm. I mean, it doesn't have to look pretty. They don't care if they look pretty. They don't need to look pretty. It feels like 19 degrees outside right now, trying to stay warm here at Tomasini Stadium.
Yeah, I took a step outside and came right back.
That was your mistake.
Here into the warm press box.
Well, it's warmer, absolutely.
Yeah, warm might be the wrong word, but compared to the elements outside.
Well, glad to have you along. Hopefully you're staying warmer. You may be tuning in to our game broadcast on the Falcon Athletic Network. I know we have a number of Florida natives on these two teams' rosters. I'm sure they're loving life right now while up here in the Midwest. It is cold. Jacob Mason will be kicking it away. Wisconsin Lutheran. The combination of Nick Charles Crawl and Tyree Gamble back to receive. From the 2, Nick Charles Crawl. He is stopped back near the 15.
Interesting decision to field that ball running back on the 1 or 2 yard line. Momentum carrying him backwards. Didn't pay off for him.
Devin Shabilsky among those there for the special teams of the Falcons. So we'll see who they go with at quarterback on this particular series. Again, Matheson 7-12, Anderson 0 for 3 when it comes to passing, and it will be Matheson. Warriors came in number 3 in the conference in passing yards per game. Number 8 overall, though, averaging about 303 offensive yards a contest, and all ready to start this third quarter. We have a false start against Wisconsin Lutheran. Well, that drives a coach nuts this late in the season, but it drives a coach nuttier when it happens before the ball's even snapped to start this third quarter. You got to be disciplined. 6 seconds on in. That's the first penalty, though, against the Warriors since the first quarter. The throw, incomplete. Too much on the toss, headed for Morgan. And again, you had Mason over there. Jacob Mason joined by John Rao.
Yeah, it looks like they really have liked that matchup so far, trying to work to Morgan. But like we said before, Mason's still doing a good job all day, sticking right with him and breaking up everything thrown his way.
Yeah, 3 pass breakups already for Jacob Mason. Warriors trying to win a second consecutive game for the first time, so they won back-to-back games against Rockford and Concordia, Wisconsin last October. Looking to end the season with 3 wins for a second straight campaign. Matheson, the keeper. He fumbles the football. Falcons have it, and a fumble recovery and return for a touchdown. Troy Stewart.
I was just about to say the Warriors yet to cough it up. Falcons had 2 fumbles on the day, but a huge one there, as we're an extra point away from a tie ball game again.
And how fitting for both teams. Their second scores come off fumble recoveries. In the case of the Falcons, return for a score. You had Brandon Morrissey recover the Falcon fumble for the Warriors, which set up a touchdown a couple of plays later. A 17-yard catch for Morgan. And now here, after being down 14-0, the Falcons about to tie things up. Jacob Mason, extra point. Does in fact tie things up at 14, but it's Troy Stewart on the fumble recovery. That's the first defensive score of the year for Concordia. Watch it one more time. Matheson taking off, taking a hit, ball popping free, and Stewart, top of your screen, able to turn that corner, and it was nothing but turf in front, and he finds the south end zone for a 14-14 score here at Tomasini Stadium.
What a fitting time for the first defensive score of the season. We talked about maybe having some doubts about the heart that the Falcons had in this game at the end of the first half. Those doubts seem to be gone now, as we've finally seen some momentum. And man, as it swung quickly back to the Falcons as they're about to kick this one away again with just 22 seconds gone here in the start of the second half.
You could not have scripted it any better to start this third quarter, considering you're looking for a defensive stop first. and then hoping to respond thereafter, and instead it's your defense that puts up points 22 seconds in to tie this game back up at 14. It was a 11-yard fumble recovery and a return for a touchdown for Stewart. And now Charles Crawl on the Warriors return. He's going down near the 21 based on progress. And as you mentioned, okay, the Falcons at times looked like they were kind of going through the motions toward the end of that second quarter after falling behind by 14. Now you see a little extra bounce in their step and making some big plays. They're the ones that are dancing and jumping around on this field. They're right back in this Week 11, Game 10 matchup. Battle for that Luther Cup. A trophy case already that's occupied with the Cheese Bowl trophy after the Falcons gained that trophy first time since 2013 when they beat the Muskies a number of weeks back. That was back on October the 6th. Well, for Wisconsin Lutheran, they go with Kaysen. He was met by the Falcons' Brandon Hargis.
Like there were about 4 Falcons there to help bring him down, and that's kind of the way that it's had to be done today against Kaysen. But a good job there, limiting that run to maybe half a yard or so.
Second down, 9 yards to go. Anderson will throw it deep downfield. No chance. Absolutely no chance for Christian Woyak, who was being double-teamed. To Sean Battle and Jacob Mason on the assignment. Anderson now with that throw, he's 0 for 4. 0 for 4 passing the football. Came into this game at 49-98, good for 50%, having thrown for 501 yards, 3 touchdowns, but also 3 interceptions. And now the Warriors face third down. It was 1 for 6, 17% on third down efficiency. Anderson steps, throws. That's going to be incomplete. Nobody in the neighborhood. I think the closest Warrior was Tyree Gamble. He was still a good 5-10 yards closer to Anderson than where that football landed. And so the defense does its job. And now a punting situation for Bornschlegel.
Interesting to see that the Warriors elected to pass on all 3 downs with Anderson, who, like you said, has yet to complete a pass today in their 2-quarterback set that they're running.
Bornschlegel gets rid of it. Tennant with a fair catch. Falls to his knees to haul it in near the 42. Right in his shadow came C.J. Gron, the junior linebacker. Now the Falcons trying to cash in. They have the momentum. They've been able to tie this game up. Can they keep it going? This drive begins from the 43 officially. And Nixon looks to his left, throws. That's complete, but a loss. Tackle was made by Ignacek off the catch by Jake Busher. Ignacek on the stop is going to go for a 2-yard loss. Ball knocked back closer to the 40-41. It's second down.
And give the Warriors some credit. As we talked about, the Falcons have hurt themselves on offense somewhat here today. But the Warriors all over the Falcons every time they try to run one of those quick out throws. And when they're not, Nixon being smothered in the backfield. So we've done a real nice job containing the Falcons through the air today.
Josh Turner tackled by Joe Stachinski. Ball goes right back to the 43. Now you're looking at third down and 10. Falcons on third down efficiency, 2 for 7, good for 29%. Nixon zips it, incomplete, looking for Sanders. And you're a little jig after the fact, I don't know why, was Tony Orlando. I'm not sure he did a whole heck of a lot to break that one up. It just wasn't a catchable ball for Sanders.
Take credit wherever you can.
I was going to say, you're battling for the Luther Cup, right? But he could do a little river dance there, a little Lord of the Dance there for Orlando. Pretty good moves. Irish jig, and now the punt for Jacob Mason. Guess at this point, too, you're just like the fans trying to find a way to stay warm. It doesn't have to look pretty. You just get that blood flowing. Mason gets rid of it, and no chance for a return here for Nick Charles Crawl, but instead it will bounce out, and the Falcons will see it bounce out at the 3. Tied at 14. We saw this in the first half, 0-0 for a good majority. Offense having a tough time finding any kind of rhythm, any kind of consistency. Might we see more of that now that the game's tied at 14 again? 12:23 to go in the third. I'm still looking for some kind of an update from Eureka Rockford. We do know that Eureka has scored. At some point, they have scored. Not sure if Rockford has. But again, trying to watch the live video and no score bug. They don't even pan to the scoreboard. So we'll do our best to see if we can't get you an update before too long as that one continued. Not even live tweeting. But their stats aren't working. I'm not sure if that's by design to make sure nobody else knows what's going on. I don't know. But in this day and age, you never know.
Sure, someone there is Facebook Living, and we just don't have the inside scoop.
No kidding. Ball right now is at the 6. It's going to be second down and 7. And so Matheson, 3 receivers to the left, coming out with a 5 receiver set, empty backfield. High throw, no chance. Looking again for a gamble. And that was a gamble because that ball floats a little bit longer. You're looking at Deshaun Battle going for 6. That ball had some hang time.
Like both receivers in the area there thought the pass might be to them. Weren't 100% sure and kind of just sailed over the head of everybody.
Third down now and 7 yards to go. Another slow start on both sides offensively. Lone score so far in the third came off a fumble. Return for a touchdown. 11 yards for Troy Stewart. Well, not the 7 yards that the Warriors are looking for. And so the Falcons able to stop Kaysen. Falcons, among others in the area, had Cody Lemley. Fourth down now facing the Warriors. Bornschlegel will punt it away. He's about to punt for the 6th time in this game. He's averaging about 36.2 yards per punt. Tennett. And Coy back to receive. Coy with a fair catch. He'll make it at the 44. Now, I mentioned during a pregame ceremony the Falcons honoring 9 seniors. Josh Sanders, Aaron Nixon, the quarterback, Devin Coy, Jacob Mason. You have Cody Lemley, John Rao, Trey Hickam, Patrick Fleener, and Jake Busher. Those 9 seniors. Boy, look, Nixon, what a year he has produced. He's battled injury, but then coming back this year, he's been healthy and finding a way to manage an offense that's, and a team for that matter that is awfully young. A lot of freshmen and sophomores. Turner whistled down as he ran right into the arms of Matt Goodell, who had a monster first half with the 10 tackles. You have a guy like Josh Sanders, came on strong at the end of last year. At one point, at a stretch of 10 consecutive games with a touchdown reception that was snapped a couple of weeks ago against Eureka. Been over 100 receiving yards 4 separate times this season. Devin Coy playing in his 20th game. He's not scored a touchdown since scoring twice last season. Jacob Mason, though, who has been like a swift army knife. Kicker, punter, defensive back. Asking and you shall receive as Turner on this run. But look, Jacob Mason in his career coming into this game, 38 games played, has contributed 151 points to this offense, not to mention what he's done defensively and keeping the opponent off the board. Lemley at linebacker, John Rowell defensive back, Hickam and Fleener on the line, and then Jake Busher as a receiver played now, and with this game included 21 games 19 of those have come in the last now couple of seasons. 3rd down and 6 for the Falcons. High snap, Nixon brings it down. Fakes the handoff to Turner. Now will step and throw. Tennant will make the catch. He is stopped around the 27-yard line. It's going to be a 19-yard gain. 1st down, Falcons. Warriors stop made by Ty Castillo. So best of luck to those 9 seniors in their future endeavors. But have certainly left an impact on the progress of this program and the steps they've made this season and going out on a high with their best campaign since 2013.
Yeah, and it's incredible the difference that Aaron Nixon makes. Obviously, you talked about him being injured last year. Whole new team when he's on the field.
Isaiah Tennant was tripped up. A trip up by Devontae Jones. No, he's made a lot happen. I mean, he's had to make a lot happen because he hasn't always seen a lot of time for his decision-making. And so he's got to make a split decision, whether he runs the football, throws the football. He's shown great ability to throw across his body, off balance. He has helped a lot of these guys grow quickly, mature quickly at the collegiate level. Nixon coming in 1st in the conference in passing yards per game, 1st in passing touchdowns, 4th in rushing scores. Facing 2nd down. On the option to Turner. And Turner inside the 20, 15, tripped up near the 10. They've been tripped up by the ankle of Devontae Jones. Ball's at the 11, a 14-yard gain. 1st down, Falcons off that option play to Josh Turner. He's stayed busy now. 11 rushing attempts for Turner after it was Matt Montgomery for the first couple of series.
Yeah, interesting to see Turner not get the start today. But after he's come in, obviously he made a huge impact in this game so far and still running strong every time. Sees a little bit of separation running downhill and picking up positive yardage for the Falcons.
Nixon spinning, hanging on to the football as he's inside the 5. Nixon near the 3, give him about 8 yards. 2nd down coming up for the Falcons.
Got to be right on that 1st down marker there. Hoping they don't need it.
You're going to give him the 4, so it's going to be 2nd down and 3 officially. See if they get Turner involved here. They do, and Turner trying to squeeze through a tight hole on that right side. That quickly closed up upon him trying to squeeze through, and no gain for Josh Turner. Brings up 3rd down. See if they go Tennant's route now. I've gone with him a couple of times on this drive. No, they're going to throw it back in the end zone for Hill. It's picked off for the end zone. Intercepted by Tony Orlando. I don't get it. He picks it off. Doesn't do a jig, but he did off that incompletion on the last series. I want to see the Irish jig. Tony Orlando. 2nd Falcon turnover. As the Falcons on the verge of taking their first lead of this game. See Orlando jumping on top of the bench. Beating that chest. The junior defensive back from Hoffman Estates, Illinois. A big-time takeaway. And Nixon throws what will stand as his 10th interception of the year. Hit another one picked off that was taken back. That by Sewald because of a Warrior penalty. And now Kaysen stops shy of the 20. 6:54 to go here in the 3rd quarter. 14 all. Warriors able to score in the last turnover they forced with a fumble recovery by Morrissey right at the end of the 2nd quarter. A couple of plays later, they found the end zone. Falcons on the lone Warrior turnover have a score off the 11-yard fumble return by Troy Stewart that has tied this game up. That came 22 seconds out of halftime.
And I know hindsight is 20/20, but looking back on it, Falcons at the 4-yard line, having success with Turner running the ball. I don't understand the back shoulder fade in that scenario.
Well, Anderson's flagged down. We have a personal foul. Roughing the passer, and that's if you're the Falcons. You got to be disciplined because Anderson has been off his game so far. If that pass would have counted, he'd be 0 for 6 throwing. That wasn't even in the same area code of J.K. Witkowski, who finally see the football thrown his direction. But now with that roughing the passer call, ball gets moved to the 34. That throw wasn't even close.
And they really haven't been all day. Like you said, he's yet to complete a pass.
Matheson 7 of 14. Anderson 0 for 5 officially. From the 34. We're going to take off. He's thrown to the sideline. For the Falcons, Devin Shabilski. There on that stop. Penalties right now for being the two fewest penalized teams. You see, Warriors penalized 5 times for 50 yards, 4 for 45 in the first quarter alone. Falcons at 5 of 46. So both teams are at or above their average already in penalty yards a game, and we still have lots of football left on this Saturday. They bring out the best in one another, as we mentioned. Fake, throw, and battle on the tackle for the catch for Woyak. Throwing the fake hand off the K-sit. First down, Wisconsin Lutheran. Ball right at midfield. Getting Woyak involved. Haven't called his name out a ton. That's only a second catch of the game.
And there we have the first completed pass of the game for Anderson, like we were just talking about.
Last week, Woyak had his best reception total on the year of 7, but 50 yards. He does have 100 receiving yard performance, which came against Eureka. He had a touchdown in that game with 4 catches for 126 yards. Only played 1 game last year. After playing 5 games in 2016. Anderson is sacked. Oh, he went to throw it. He hesitated. Got run right into on a sack for Brogan Howard. And for the Falcons, their first sack of this game, only their 8th of the season.
Must have been a missed assignment there. Howard, I think, was in shock himself, had a free run at the quarterback. No one even looked at him.
Anderson, I thought he was going to throw it, and then he just didn't. Next thing you know, Howard with a sack. Back at the 45, loss of 5, second down and 15. On the handoff, the sweep here with Brandon Livingston. He stopped at the 47, 48, about a 2 or 3 yard pickup. It's going to be third down now for Wisconsin Lutheran. They're still 1 of 8 on third down efficiency.
Yeah, and as we saw a couple plays ago, that pass completed to Woyak. We talked, after talking up him and Sanders being the main receiving targets, both of them been somewhat non-factors in this game so far with almost 4 minutes left now in the third quarter. We'll see if either of them kind of pick it up. We head down to the end of this one.
Anderson. Pressure on the backside. He's going back down to the turf. And again, it's Howard. Brogan Howard. Who? That's right, the junior defensive lineman from Oregon who is coming through with a couple hits on Anderson. This ball knocked back to the 44.
Had to work a little more on that one than the first one.
That's outstanding. And that hit on Anderson, forcing the punt for Bornschlegel. Gets rid of it. Coy back, and we'll let this one bounce inside the 20. We'll pick it up near the 10. He's going to break a tackle, get across the 15 before being forced to the sideline, up near the 20. Meanwhile, from Eureka, Illinois, the Red Devils about to score again on Rockford. And they throw an incomplete pass to the back of the end zone. Still haven't seen a score update. Might be 14-0 Red Devils. Live stats are not working. That game started about an hour ago, and it's an important one because the Falcons need Rockford to win. They need Lakeland to beat Aurora. Right now they're doing that 22-6, and the Falcons have to win here to get the automatic qualifier for the NCAA playoffs. Rippertella on the catch and run. Again, Eureka already has guaranteed at least a share of the regular season championship, but not the automatic qualification for the NCAA playoffs without winning today. They have to win today, and they're in automatically, but Otherwise, it opens the door for either Lakeland or the Falcons to get in. Nice catch made by Sanders. His first catch of this game. That's his first catch in some time. Didn't play last week. Limited the week before against Eureka. Again, that was a game that, as we mentioned, snapped his streak of 10 consecutive games with at least one touchdown reception. First down and 10 from midfield. I'm talking about Brogan Howard. Who is this kid? He's a transfer from UW Whitewater. Part of the wrestling team once upon a time with the Warhawks. Here's Turner. Going to play footloose, he does, but downed at the 47. Again, he's from Prineville, Oregon. He's the defensive lineman, a state wrestling champion all 4 years back in his high school days, but now getting the opportunity to play. He's been used here and there. With this now being his 7th game appearance, he came in with 1.5 sacks, and he was big on that last defensive series, coming through with a couple of sacks of Anderson. Second down and 7 for the Falcons. From the 47, the flip goes to Turner, and Turner tripped up across the 45. Big trip up for Ty Castillo.
Turner had some more green pastures in front of him if that tackle wasn't made. Now, third down and manageable here for the Falcons as they look to keep this drive alive.
Down to a minute 20 to go in this third quarter. What a battle. It was scoreless through one. It was 14-7 Warriors. At halftime, Falcons tying the game up 22 seconds out of halftime on a fumble return for a touchdown. Rupertella over his shoulder, incomplete. Almost picked off. He had Trevor Seawald on the coverage. Do note, Eureka's about to attempt a field goal, and the field goal is good. It is 17-0 Red Devils in the second quarter. Looked like less than a minute left till halftime. Indeed, 17-0 with 28 seconds left in the second quarter. They panned the scoreboard on the live video feed. Again, live stats are down. Not sure why, but Red Devils with a nice lead over the Rockford Regents, who have given a lot of teams fits, including these Warriors. They lost to the Warriors in overtime, but shut up the Falcons last week and really took it to Lakeland. One of the earlier conference
Ball's
games.
Out.
The ball came free. The official blew the play dead, and that may come back to cost the Falcons. Kind of like in hockey, you don't see the puck. In this case, you don't see the football. And it looked like a fair, well, I didn't see a fair catch signal, but sliding on the knees, the ball came free. The whistle came, and they blew the whistle upon that ball about to hit the receiver's hands, but he didn't bring it in cleanly. And the ball popped free, and the Falcons think they've recovered. The officials will talk things over, but that whistle's going to come into play. That inadvertent whistle is going to come into play because I don't know how you overturn that. I don't know how you can say it's a fumble recovered by the Falcons because he did blow the whistle.
Right, but the shouldn't have been blown because, I mean, he didn't have it and then lose it. He never recovered it. Catch was never made.
He never had it. Exactly.
Yeah, he never had it.
Well, I don't know about that. Inadvertent whistle, but the official says that, okay, it was fumbled by the Warriors, but they made an immediate recovery of the football. I don't know about that.
Falcons seem to be arguing that, at least from our perspective up in the booth. It looked like the Falcons recovered.
Yeah,
we see a replay
I don't know, how's
here.
that immediate recovery? The ball. Can we see that again? See if we can play it one more time. Okay, watch this Mason punt. You tell me this is immediate. That ball's bouncing around, and the Falcons have the football. That ball's recovered by Lee Andrew Carter. Back to live action. I mean, I don't disagree with the fact it's Warrior ball because of that whistle, but I don't know how you can justify it by saying
immediate
recovered
recovery.
by an immediate recovery. Yeah, there was no recovery. And now a holding call against the Warriors takes away this run by Joshua Kaysen.
Would have been a first down on that probably 10 or 11-yard run by Kaysen. Like you said, canceled out by the penalty.
49 seconds left here in the third. Got ourselves a good one. to wrap up the 2018 regular season. So Wisconsin Lutheran, Matheson at quarterback, back at the 8 with a first down and 19. Kaysen on the catch. The run, while he leaped up into the air and got undercut by Brandon Hargis. Maybe the final play of the third quarter. I'll mention there have been some great battles between these two teams. A 3-point Warrior win last year. It was a 3-point Warrior win in 2015. It was a 7-point Warrior win, 21-14 in 2014. That may be where this game is headed. On to the fourth we go, though. That's where we're headed immediately with a 14-14 score. Falcons and the Warriors to wrap up the 2018 regular season. You're tuning in to Falcon Football on the Falcon Athletic Network. (14-14) here at Thomasini Stadium in Mequon, Wisconsin. Lone score in the third quarter was a fumble recovery and a return for a touchdown by Troy Stewart from 11 yards out. 22 seconds into the third, after the Warriors jumped in front 14-0. They were up 14-7 at halftime. There were 3 scores combined between these two teams in the last 3 minutes and 35 seconds of that second, after most of the first half was scoreless. And now the fourth quarter battle for the Luther Cup. Play resumes on second down. And a reception along the far sideline. Hauled on in by Corey Diedrich.
They finally got Mason. Been going at him all day. Finally lost a battle there out on the edge.
Out to the 36 for a gain of 23. That's one way to start a fourth. Again, completions have been hard to come by on this very cold afternoon lakeside.
It was more offensive production than we saw in the entire third quarter. So we're 20 seconds into the fourth.
That was a struggle in the third. Matheson looks right, throws left. And Diedrich again will make the catch right near the first down marker. Tackle on the backside by Alex Loading. But it's a 10-yard gain, and the Warriors pick up another first down. So back-to-back first downs give them 12 for the game. Falcons have 18. Time of possession at this point, Warriors plus almost 5 minutes. Offensively, Falcons have run 14 more plays, and they have roughly 70 more yards. First and 10, Warriors from their own 47. They're looking for a third win, looking to finish 3-7 for a second straight year. They've had 3 wins or less 8 times now in 19 seasons of their program existence. This will be a 3 or less win season. Kaysen with about a 1-yard gain. They're trying to beat the Falcons for a 5th consecutive meeting. Falcons trying to pick up their 7th win and keep some hope alive at a playoff berth. They need, again, Eureka to lose. They need Lakeland to win. Lakeland is winning. Eureka, though, is also winning 17-0 at halftime over Rockford in their game that began an hour after the rest of the conference slate. What a great first year it's been for the Red Devils back in the conference. At least the Falcons are in. First time though in the NAC. Football only. Low throw. Hit the ground. Incomplete, looking for Diedrich. Mason on the coverage.
Pass might have been tipped at the line there. Number of hands in the area in the Falcons' defensive line.
Brings up third down and 9. Chinging says second down. Scoreboard has third. Now they've changed it. They've updated it. Wisconsin Lutheran 1-9 on third down conversions. 11%. Falcons not much better at 3 of 11. That's been a struggle. Matheson has Kaysen on this near side. Now looking to go across the way. Gets a big block. Now throws it deep downfield. Under throws the receiver, and it's almost caught by Diedrich, but it goes incomplete. Looking for Diedrich. Coverage provided by John Rao. And so the Warriors now 1 for 10 on third down efficiency. And forced to punt. This will be the 8th punt of the game for Bornschlegel.
Looked like a game of 500 there. Just throw it up as high as you can and see who can out-jump the other person. Diedrich almost managed to pull it down in double coverage.
Flag will fly in. There have been 11 combined penalties and a false start here. Make it 12 now combined. 7 against Wisconsin Lutheran for 63 yards. They get backed up another 5. Devin Coy back to receive for the Falcons. We're in the fourth quarter of play from Tomasini Stadium. Glad to have you along. As the Falcons will bring Anthony Cooper onto the field. They had to get the right personnel on. They were a man short. Coy looking for a fair catch. Fair catch made near the 19. Well, so far in this game, just joining us, you like offense? This has not been your kind of game. It has been what we've become accustomed to in the Warriors and the Falcons battle. It's a grinder. It is a defensive battle. It's an offensive struggle. Right now, the Falcons, 58 plays, 246 yards. Warriors have run 48 plays, 192 yards. Nixon, see Turner, the 14 carries. He's been busy. After Matt Montgomery got the starting nod. Turner with his 15th carry, dragged by the sleeve of his jersey. Morrissey on that Warrior tackle. Morrissey was second on the team last year and stops his numbers down a little bit, but still very effective on that side of the ball. 2-yard gain for Turner. Second down and 8.
Talking about this game being a grind, you might say, well, there were 28 points scored, but I think if you don't count halftime, about 3 minutes of game time produced all 28 of those points.
Yep. As Turner, he's out to the 32. If you want to be exact, the first score of the game came with 3:35 left in the second. Remember, the Falcons tied the game 22 seconds into the third quarter, so you factor that's 3 minutes and 57 seconds where offense was on display, or scoring was on display. Turner. Not much there, and again, Wisconsin Lutheran has been very strong when it comes to making the tackle. Agnostic on that stop. That's been impressive. And again, not making... Falcons have not seen many guys miss. Wisconsin Lutheran has made the sure tackle. Agnostic with the latest. Brings up second down and 10.
And this defense, we talked about as how impressive it's looked.
Nixon with an nifty move. He's to the 44 for a gain of 12. That's the 9th carry for Nixon. But again, that also factors in the number of sacks he has taken, which have been... He's been sacked now 3 times in this game. First down.
But going back for a defense that allows 38 points a game, that does not look like the defense that we have seen today. Wisconsin Lutheran has looked quite impressive defensively.
Turner on the stiff arm. Morrissey trying to swipe. Missed. Turner to midfield, a 6-yard gain. Josh Turner stopped on the play by Devontae Jones. Second down, 4 yards to go. This Falcon drive began back at the 44. They run a total of 4 plays, I should say. So watch this Falcon throw. It's going to be incomplete. Trying to haul it into Coy. being covered by Devontae Jones.
And Nixon paid the price for that one, took a big hit as soon as he released it there.
Should say this drive began back at the 19. Falcons now with 5 plays run. Third down and 4. Falcons 3 of 11 on third down. Snaps as Turner. Maybe going for a loss. Trying to get back to that original line of scrimmage. He was tackled on the backside by Joe Stachinski. That's going to go for a loss of 6. 4th down and 10. And now Jacob Mason is forced to punt it away. This will be his 6th punt. There have been 14 combined punts in this game. 5 minutes into this fourth quarter. We have seen a total of 271 offensive yards for the Falcons, 192 for Wisconsin Lutheran. Mason. Nick Charles Crawl back. And this punt blocked and recovered at the 37. Falling on top of the football, C.J. Grant. Ground on that recovery. We've seen a couple of close calls already. This one was blocked.
Yeah, we've seen Mason kind of scramble out to his left and punt on the run a couple of times, as the Falcons like to do earlier in this game. Stayed stationary on that one and paid the price, as the Warriors have great field position now. Not that that's meant a whole lot today.
What a chance from the 37. With 9:42 to go. But Anderson back at quarterback. Kaysen. I'm going to lead block. Good about to the outside. Damasio on the stop. Ball's at the 33. 4-yard gain. He made something happen there, did Kaysen, after he looked like he was going to be stopped for minimal gain. With Kaysen back in that backfield, 4 receivers for the Warriors. Anderson hits his throws. Broken up by Mason. He never turned around. It deflected off his helmet. Trying to haul it in. He had Christian Woyak. Big hit taken by Anderson. He threw it. And Jacob Mason, another pass breakup to his credit.
Yeah, and that hit might have played into it, but ball was underthrown there. Mason might have had a chance trying to catch up, but had he got his head turned around, might have had an opportunity there. But nonetheless, pass broken up as it brings up third down.
Might this be the conversion that the Warriors have been looking for? 1 for 10 on third down. Kaysen trying to dive forward. He gets to the 30. That's going to be a 3-yard gain, still 3 yards short. And now decision time for the Warriors. They've yet to attempt on fourth down in this game. They're 34% on the year, good for 8th in the conference. And I don't know why you don't take the gamble. If you don't feel like you can attempt a field goal from this distance, and you probably wouldn't, why not go for it? Because both teams have shown the inability to move that football on a regular basis, that even if you get stopped here, okay, the Falcons have to cover 70 yards if they have hopes of finding the north end zone. And they will, in fact, go for it. Why not hand it off to Kaysen? They fake. Anderson throwing low. Incomplete! Right off the hands of Dan DeYoung. And the Falcons take over.
Back and forth momentum, like we said, besides that just under 4-minute stretch. Neither team able to build up anything. Every time you think one team has a chance, they seem to squander it away and attempt to give the momentum back to the other side, who repeats the whole cycle again.
Been a battle as Tennant on the catch. Bounces off a would-be tackler, looking to break to the outside. He made Jones miss. Now Tennant onto the outside. He's across the 35 to the 37 for a gain of 7. By the way, Lakeland Aurora now tied at 22 with 7:05 left in the fourth in that one. They've got the live stats working too with Eureka and Rockford. Somebody must have taken care of those gremlins. But it is 17-0. Red Devils at the break. 2nd down and 4. New quarterback too, by the way. This run for Turner. The Falcons have James Lynn out there. There's a flag down. He's been out there on the last couple of snaps. Lynn played a little bit last week. He went 2 for 6 for 31 yards, 3 carries, and 12 yards. Trying to see if I can find Nixon on the sideline if he's being looked at. This is a medical situation or not. Don't see him out there right now, to be honest.
Sitting down on the bench there, looks like he might be.
He is getting some medical attention.
Medical attention.
Yep. So now the ball in the hands of Lynn. He's going to keep it and be taken down at the 45. I thought there was a flag down. There is. Or is there? No, it's apparently a wrapper from hand warmers that had gotten loose. Looked like a flag on the turf, but it's a yellow bag that somebody had gotten rid of from their hand warmers, and the referee will pick it up and put it in his pocket. But here's potentially your future at this position in James Lynn.
Lynn did his best Aaron Nixon impression on that last play. The run up the gut.
Freshman hands it off to Turner, who breaks a tackle, and he's going to be stopped near that marker. Maybe a little bit short based on where they spot it, but tackle on the backside from Ronnie Schneider, and it will be 3rd down and about a yard to go. There's Nixon on the sideline. And Lynn's going to try to tuck it himself, and he does! And a 1st down for the Falcons. The freshman to the 40 on the spin move. 1st down, Concordia. Only the 4th time now in 12 tries they have converted on 3rd down. Nearing 6 minutes left here in the 4th, tied at 14. Falcons have scored the last 14 points in this game. Turner inside the 30. He's to the 27. That's a gain of 14. Another Falcon 1st down. Their 21st 1st down of the game. In fact, they may have more than that at this point. At least 22 now in this game. Working that game clock down. They have at least 23 1st downs now. Well, our stats having a tough time keeping up with all the action. Inside of 6 minutes to go. From the 27. Rippertella in motion. Lynn to Turner. Up the middle. And he's going to be taken down just below the kneecap on the stop for Jody Stachinski. Tell you what, when you look at the home schedule this year, there's not been a game that has lacked excitement, entertainment this season. A lot of close home games. 3-point loss against Augsburg. 11-point win against Elma, and they traded off scores in that one. Every time Elma was able to score, the Falcons had a response. 17-0 shutout on Lakeland in the Battle of the Cheese Bowl. Here's a catch per Hill, and Tanner Hill, he was sandwiched by the combination of Jones and Jody Stachinski. 11-point win against Concordia Chicago. High-scoring battle there. The back-and-forth shootout against Eureka. 48-45 decided in the last 19 seconds. And now this one, tied at 14, inside of 5 minutes left in regulation. Falcons 3-2 here at Thomas Feeney Stadium.
Falcons already down within potential field goal range for Mason. It'd be pushing his limits, but an opportunity nonetheless.
As Lynn on this run. Wow, what a move by the freshman. Near the 10. Gain of 12. Another 1st down. Under 4.5 to go. Lynn will keep it again. Look at a bounce to the outside. Near the 7.
And this is what you love to see if you're a Falcon player or a Falcon fan. Nixon, obviously the backbone of this team, goes down at least for a little bit, out on the sideline now, and a freshman stepping up to lead this team.
What a
with
story.
Under 4 minutes now on senior day, nonetheless.
2nd and goal from the 7. Think about if he can complete this comeback effort, what that does for his confidence going into next year when he potentially, at least right now, will be penciled as your starter. Falcons are going to take a timeout. Play clock about to hit 0. They will have 2 timeouts remaining. 3:24 left in this game. But again, James Lynn right now at quarterback. He's playing for the 7th time this season.
If I'm not mistaken, first timeout taken by either team all game.
Mm-hmm.
Neither team electing to use either of their timeouts in the first half.
So how do we get to this 14-14 score? Well, Allen Jackson to the 12-yard rushing touchdown with 3:35 left in the second, gave the Warriors a 7-0 lead. On the ensuing Falcon drive, ball was fumbled and recovered by Brandon Morrissey, led to a Javion Morgan 17-yard touchdown reception from Patrick Matheson. And then for the Falcons, with 36 seconds left in the second, able to score on a Josh Turner 4th down conversion, a 39-yard run to make it 14-7 at the break. And then to start the third, a fumble was recovered by Troy Stewart, able to take it 11 yards into the south end zone. The PAT good for Jacob Mason. And with 14:38 left in the third, tied at 14, that's where we are now. With 3:24 remaining, the Falcons officially with 24 first downs to the Warriors 12. They've run 75 plays for 334 yards. Warriors 52 plays for 199 yards. Time of possession still +5. 5 minutes for Wisconsin Lutheran. But James Lynn 2 for 2 passing. He also run the ball 4 times for 20 yards. He has Turner, who has run for 166 yards in this game. Have a day. Josh Turner, he'll be back. He's only a freshman, too. Here's your future in the backfield. Lynn. Tucking. Turning. Fire to the end zone. Touchdown, Falcons!
What a story for the Falcons. Both teams saving all of their excitement for the end of the first and now the end of the second half. As the clock is stopped with 3 minutes and 18 seconds left, Falcons look for Jacob Mason to punch this through to make it a 7-point game for their first lead of the game.
Extra point for Mason is good. 154 points for Mason in his kicking career, but James Lynn, 7th game of his collegiate career, coming in for the apparent injured Aaron Nixon, finding the end zone to the outside, a 7-yard run. And the Falcons now score 21 unanswered. That's the first score since 22 seconds into the third. And James Lynn only the 3rd different Falcon with a rushing touchdown this season. And again, that's another story, too, is the Falcons have 2 rushing touchdowns of their 3 scores, the other a defensive score, not even a passing touchdown in this game. Wisconsin Lutheran has a rushing touchdown as well, to their credit, for 2 teams that are pass first, run second. And the Falcons have a lead with their freshman stepping up. Nixon out for the time being. Nixon, who's about to wrap up his long career, playing in his 36th game. He's been with the Falcons since 2014.
Every once in a while, we do prep before a game, and we think we know exactly how a game's going to go, and then you're just not even close.
You just throw it out the window.
Throw it out the window. Everything that you think is going to happen doesn't, and that's kind of where we're at right now.
In the backfield, a freshman and Josh Turner coming up big, too. 23 carries, 166 yards, and a touchdown for Turner. Still lots of football left as Mason, strong kick to the goal line. And the return from Gamble. Gamble stopped near the 15. Warriors have all 3 timeouts. And they're used to some tight ball games. Lost by 8 in their opener against Lake Forest. Lost by 8 in game 2 against Lawrence Tech. Won in overtime against Rockford 26-20. Lost by 9 at Benedictine. Last week they won by 3 over Concordia Chicago, even though they had the lead able to hang on for the victory. They're up 30-20 when Concordia Chicago was able to score the minute 32 left. A Bornschlegel field goal with 3:31 left from 44 yards out proved to be the deciding factor. Matheson back at quarterback, throws, juggled and incomplete. That would have been an enormous catch, but instead it lands on the turf off the fingertips of Woyak.
That would have been midfield and more with Mason in pursuit, but Woyak, nothing in front of him. Would have been a foot race at that point had he been able to haul it in.
The Warriors, a combined 11-28 passing. Right there for the taking for Woyak, who in this game has been limited to a couple of catches for 19 yards. 2nd down and 10 from the 16. Matheson low and caught near the 20-yard line. The catch for Morgan. They will give him the 21, a gain of about 5, but it's 3rd down. Warriors 1 of 11 in 3rd down efficiency. Falcons want to beat the Warriors for the first time since 2013. That year they had 2 trophies in their case. They had the Cheese Bowl trophy and the Luther Cup. Looking for more of the same. The Cheese Bowl trophy is there. Luther Cup, they'll make room for it. Matheson. Caught! What a catch! Gamble comes back to the football. It was underthrown. Only the 2nd 3rd down conversion in 12 tries for the Warriors, and it keeps this drive alive. What a job by Gamble, the concentration to play comeback. Underthrown pass by Matheson. 2:10 to go. Ball out to the 45. Rocket of a throw. It's going to be hauled in. Another 1st down gain. Woyak to the 44 of the Falcons. 11-yard pickup. Under 2 minutes remaining in regulation.
Warriors finding some effectiveness through the air now when they need it. Haven't really had it most of the game, but all of a sudden a couple big plays strung together, and they're in Falcon territory.
Matheson to the sideline, and another great catch made by Nick Charles Kroll. The concentration has been the receivers have done a fine job adjusting to some underthrown passes from Matheson. Another great one there, sliding, getting both hands under this football on this throw. Clock is still in motion. The hurry-up offense for the Warriors following this reception up to the 29. All 3 timeouts left for the Warriors. We have 90 seconds left here in the 4th. Morgan cannot haul it in. Batted away by Battle. Deshaun Battle on a pass intended for Morgan, looking for a 2nd touchdown reception of the afternoon.
Morgan's been their big play target all day so far. Doesn't matter who it is in coverage for the Falcons. Ben Mason a lot of the day now. Battle.
This allows the Warriors to breathe for a second with the clock's top, minute 22 to go. And Matheson will take off. He'll get to about the 25 for a gain of 4, but now a timeout. 2 left now for the Warriors. So Wisconsin Luther with a timeout. 21-14. A 7-point Falcon lead. The deciding factor right now, a James Lynn 7-yard run with 3:18 left. On the out-of-town next scoreboard, a good one brewing down at Aurora. Lakeland had a nice lead of 22-6, but Aurora's tied the game at 22. Meanwhile, Benedictine up 21 on Concordia Chicago. Make that now only 14. It's 48-34 Benedictine over Concordia Chicago with 8:23 left. That Lakeland-Aurora game, by the way, going to overtime. They're tied at 22. Rockford Eureka about to begin the 3rd quarter. In fact, they just half started the 3rd with the Red Devils in control of the football at 17-0. So a Falcon win coupled by a Lakeland win and a Rockford comeback, and the Falcons get the automatic qualifier. Big Hill I mean, Eureka probably not going to blow a 17-point lead. They're already at least a shareholder of the regular season championship. Nothing else. Falcons just trying to end this season strong. A year in which they have exceeded expectation. Matheson, the pump fake, a sack! Oh, he got flattened! Absolutely flattened by Devin Stabilski.
And he is slow to get up, too. Wow, that was a big hit.
I'm not sure he saw Stabilski, and if he did, he had a second to blink. Maybe. Watch this. The pump fake, bam! Second Warrior timeout. They're down to 1 remaining. Minute 10 to go. On comes Jake Anderson. What a sack for Stabilski. Both teams with 3 sacks now in this game. What pressure. And it brings up 4th down.
13, it looks like. 1 stop here for the Falcons. And with Wisconsin Lutheran only having 1 timeout left, that would most likely be the ball game here for the Falcons on Senior Day. But they need 1 more stop to not allow 13 yards here on 4th down.
The Lutheran Bowl coming down to this play for Anderson, who again has struggled passing the ball. It's 1 of 8 for 13 yards. He needs those 13 yards here to keep this drive alive. Warriors 0 for 1 on 4th down in this game.
Cowbell is ringing.
A little trickery. Wojak cannot hang on. After the throw from J.K. Witkowski, coverage from John Rao, and the Falcons take over with 63 seconds left.
And what a pass by Witkowski.
And it was almost hauled in by Wojak.
Right in his hands. Wojak had an opportunity, went up to get it, but 2 Falcons in the area broke it up. With just over a minute here.
See the throw there by Witkowski. Wojak as Rao comes over to help out. Little lift, maybe got that knee in the gut of Wojak. Mason there on the coverage as well. We've been saying that all game long. And now victory formation for the Falcons and for Lynn, your future perhaps quarterback of this program, coming through with a game-winning drive. And he scored from 7 yards out with 3:18 left. And the Falcons, 21 unanswered, will take the Luther Cup. Their first win over the Warriors. First win over the Warriors since 2013. And again, you see the timeout situation. There should be 3 for the Falcons, 1 for the Warriors, but it does not matter because the Warriors will let the clock tick out. That's the last snap that needed to be taken by Lynn. What a rally after being down 14-0 in a blink of an eye during about a minute 38-second stretch in that second. Falcons got 1 back before halftime. They get another back thanks to a fumble return by Troy Stewart 22 seconds out of halftime. And then the game-winning drive with 318 seconds left in the 4th. And the Falcons will take it 21-14. Now a final as the Luther Cup stays here now in Mequon. A Cheese Bowl and now a Luther Cup in a season in which the Falcons have exceeded expectations by winning a total of 7 games. They wrapped their season at 7-3, 5-2 in conference play, 4-2 here at Thomasini Stadium. They say goodbye to 9 seniors, including their quarterback Aaron Nixon. But I tell you, a number of freshmen and sophomores saw some big-time amounts of playing time that should pan out and should bode well going forward for this program.
Yeah, and as we talked about it, on Senior Day it seemed obviously Aaron Nixon controlling the game for most of it, but when you think about big players and big moments, like we talked about James Lynn, the freshman, and also Josh Turner, was freshman day here at Thomasini Stadium.
There's the Luther Cup being held by one of the seniors in Cody Lemley. That's staying here in Mequon. But you talk about Josh Turner, and he didn't even start this game, and yet he came on as the game went along and ended up carrying the ball 23 times, 466 yards. He had the first score on a fourth down play. Overall, the Falcons ran 78 plays for 337 yards. Wisconsin Lutheran 61 plays for 251 yards, and the Warriors had the ball for almost an entirely full minute more than the Falcons. Nixon, 13 for 27, passing 136 yards. His top receiver, Jake Busher, 3 catches for 49. But the Falcons pick up the victory. Warriors fall to 2-8, 2-5 in the conference, 0-5 on the road. They've now lost 6 consecutive road games since a victory here over the Falcons by 3 last season. Falcons now improved to 12-6 all time over Wisconsin Lutheran. Now they scoreboard watch. Again, they need Lakeland to win. Well, Aurora's up 25-22 in overtime off the first possession. Benedictine leads Concordia Chicago 54-34, and right now it is 17-0 Eureka early in the third over Rockford. Falcons did their part, but again, it's a 3-part process to qualify for the postseason. If Eureka hangs on and beats Rockford, nothing else matters. They are automatically the playoff qualifier in the NAC, but still a possibility for the Falcons and Lakeland based on other happenings. And again, you can check out CWFalcons.com a little bit later on for a complete recap of this one. As far as the fate, it appears the season will be over for the Falcons, but you can't say enough about coaching staff just wanted to see this team grow. And I don't think anybody really put a win total on this season, but I think it's fair to say nobody expected this team to go 7-3. And some quality wins along the way.
Oh, for sure. I think, like you said, the Falcons much exceeded expectations, and as this was the last season for Aaron Nixon, I think that today especially was an important day and a look into the future and some hope for Falcon fans, especially looking an odd game for the Falcons as they had more rushing yards than passing yards in a team that averages almost 100 more passing yards per game. So as we look for Josh Turner and, like you said, the future, maybe the birth of something new for the Falcons as Nixon moves on.
Well, think about what a confidence booster this is for James Lynn. I mean, you come in a tie ball game, and you're able to orchestrate a drive into the north end zone. And on top of it, you're the one that scored that touchdown. I mean, that's going to bode well for his confidence going into the offseason, into the spring season, and perhaps getting him a starting job come next year. And not a bad year to spend by being behind Nixon and learning from Nixon throughout the course of this season.
Oh, for sure, to have someone like Nixon who, in the short glimpse of playing time, that one game-winning drive that we saw, looks like, someone with a similar style in a way, kind of a dual-threat quarterback. Only made 2 throws on that possession, but completed both of them. So someone, who might be able to use his feet and pick up yards in multiple ways. Definitely, I think it was helpful for him to kind of groom under Nixon and watch him play for this entire season.
Well, right now, the Lakeland-Aurora game is down to 4th and goal from the 1 in overtime. It's 25-22 Spartans, so Lakeland needs to punch this in or go for a field goal, I guess, to tie the game and send it to a second overtime. So that one is near an end as Lakeland calls a timeout. We will say so long here from Tomasini Stadium. Falcons, it appears their season is over, even just based on the Eureka over Rockford score 17-0 with 10:41 left in the third, but not a bad way to end the year as the Falcons lay claim to the Cheese Bowl, and now they bring home the Luther Cup for the first time since their championship 2013 campaign. Thanks to Logan Jones, our entire crew behind the scenes. Thanks to everybody all season long. And again, check out CedarFalcons.com for a recap of this one, along with the final stats and perhaps even an interview from a player or coach, Greg Etter, get his thoughts on the season that was. But the Falcons do end it in style, scoring 21 unanswered to knock off Wisconsin Lutheran 21-14. You've been watching Falcon football on the Falcon Athletic Network. So long, everybody.